Chapter 67. As soon as Li Fan entered the billiard hall, he was stunned. Huang Lei was wearing a yellow robe that no one knew where he had borrowed it from. He was holding a peachwood sword in his hand and waving it around in the billiards hall. The students who came to play were so frightened that they hid at the side, not daring to come forward. He was obviously dressed like a Taoist priest, but his mouth was muttering as if he was dancing. "Lei, what are you doing? Did you take the wrong medicine again?" Li Fan could not help but reprimand him. "This guy, he's always nagging. Big brother, you're here?" When Huang Lei saw Li Fan, he immediately put away his swindler appearance and eagerly said, "I'm asking the gods to exorcise the evil." "Big brother, wait a moment." "Exorcise my ass." Li Fan rolled his eyes. "What era is this? Don't show off the feudal system." "Big brother is right." Huang Lei quickly said, "But this set of ancestors things still has some truth. Especially after I did my divination today. It said that today is not conducive for a transaction. So I set up an array, ready to break it for us." "Break your sister, less nonsense, let's get down to business." Li Fan's lunch break was not long, he had to quickly solve this matter. "Okay, big brother has the final say." Huang Lei pulled a big bag from his waist, which was full of money. "Last night I spent 30,000. Now there's only 170,000 left." Huang Lei put the bag on the billiard table. "Big brother, do you want to count?" "No need to count, I believe you." Li Fan took out 2 stacks, took out 10, stuffed the rest into Huang Lei's pocket, and then said to the boss, "Boss, I'm here at the appointed time. Let's sign the contract. Everything here should be handed over to me. Little brother is really trustworthy." The boss took out the rental contract and the transfer contract of the billiard hall. A total of 170,000. "We'll hand over the money and the goods." 170,000? Li Fan frowned. "Didn't we agree on 150,000 yesterday?" Little brother, you've misunderstood." The boss chuckled. 150,000. That's the rent for 1.5 years. As for the rest, I'll pay 5,000 for 1 billiard table and 20,000 for 4 of them. I'll give you the rest of the clubs, so you don't have to thank me. After all, I'm going abroad, so I have to leave some benevolence for my motherland. Li Fan did have 20,000 yuan, but he didn't want to give it to him. This boss was definitely taking advantage of the situation to raise the price. It was a bit too much. Benevolence? Benevolence my ass. Li Fan didn't say anything, but Huang Lei couldn't sit still. He also threw away his sword, took out a switchblade from his hip pocket, and nailed it on the table in front of the boss. "Motherfucker, 1 hole for 1 knife, 1 hole for 5,000 yuan. Since you've stabbed me 4 times, I'll call it quits." What do you mean?" The boss was so scared that he shrank his neck and could not help but ask, "What do you mean? You know it in your heart." At this moment, Huang Lei seemed to be more useful than Li Fan. He curled his lips, lifted one of his feet, and stepped on the table. He stared at the boss in front of him. "Old fart, don't play this game with me. If you have the guts, come and stab me. If you don't have the guts, then stay still. Do you really think that Uncle Huang is easy to bully? Lei, don't be like this. You're scaring people." As Li Fan said that, he picked up a pack of cigarettes from the boss's table. This time, he didn't stand on ceremony. He took out a cigarette and stuffed it into the boss's mouth. "Boss, have a cigarette to calm yourself down. My little brother doesn't know any better. Sorry for making you laugh." Li Fan lit the cigarette for the boss, and then said slowly, "I can understand that you want to raise the price. However, I really hate people who go back on their word the most. Moreover, as you can see, this brother of mine doesn't have any skills. He just knows how to mess around. He can't do any other work, so I was thinking of giving him a billiard hall to let him live a peaceful life. But now that you don't want to sell it, I've also thought about it. This brother of mine probably can't do anything good. I'll give you this 150,000. The boss froze for a moment. "There's such a good thing?" "Because I have to find a place for my brother to go. I thought about it and decided to let him stay in prison. That way I can feel more at ease. If I break one of your legs, 150,000 is enough to compensate. Anyway, you're going to America to retire. Breaking one of your legs doesn't matter, right? Big brother, You have the final say. Huang Lei nodded without hesitation. Wherever Big Brother tells me to go, I'll go. As he said that, he picked up a chair beside him. Big Brother, you tell me which leg do we want? Boss, you tell me. Li Fan asked politely. I'm not a bossy person at all. I'll leave the choice to you. I didn't mean that. Little brother, you see, this is a misunderstanding. The boss swallowed his saliva. He knew that Huang Lei was a ruffian and couldn't be provoked. He originally thought that Li Fan was just a high school student. He could extort money from him before he left. He didn't expect that he would go for wool and come home shorn. I said 170,000. Actually, I haven't given you a discount. I still have to give you a 20% discount. Total is 146,000. Okay, keep the change for 4,000. Li Fan put 150,000 on the table. Can we sign the contract now? Yes, of course we can. The boss eagerly followed Li Fan to sign the contract. This billiard hall finally had a new owner. AI, this is my first property. After getting the contract, Li Fan couldn't help but feel emotional. Since the moment he saw Mrong Ing, his life seemed to have embarked on a different path. Originally, he should have honestly entered a third-rate university and then just hang around for 4 years. Finally, he would find a low-class job in society and continue to hang around for the rest of his life. After a few decades, this Earth dungeon would be completely over. But he didn't expect that things would go wrong. However, he didn't regret embarking on this path. After transferring the billiard hall to Li Fan, the boss packed up his things and left. There were some instant noodles and water left in the shop, but it seemed that the boss had taken them away at night. Really old things, so damn stingy. Huang Lei angrily cursed. If I knew this earlier, I would have beaten him up first. Forget it. Didn't I leave you 19,000? Leave 5,000 for our daily life. The remaining 14,000 will be the initial operating fund. Li Fan looked at the billiard hall. This place should be renovated. If it's only like this, I'm afraid the profit won't come up. Big brother, I know a few chicken heads. Huang Lei slapped his thigh. How about we find 2 chicken heads so that the students can play billiard and at the same time shoot cannons? Big brother, what do you think of my idea? Chapter 68. Fuck off. Li Fan almost kicked Huang Lei out. Do you think this is a brothel? With our background, we will be beaten up in 3 days. Do you understand? Li Fan glared at Huang Lei, thinking that this guy is too unreliable. Big brother is right, I did not think it through. Huang Lei tore off his bloated Taoist robe, revealing a shirt and jeans that had been washed white. He reflected on himself. It's too dangerous to have sex. Remember, Lei, in the West, billiards is an elegant gentleman's sport. Li Fan reminded Huang Lei, don't think of billiards as dirty, okay? Oh, I understand. Big brother is the best, reminding me immediately. Huang Lei nodded. We can't have sex in the billiards hall, it is vulgar. Also not healthy, not green. Yes, you are right to think that way. Li Fan said, this boy is worth teaching. Also, we can't have sex while playing billiards. Yes, you finally started to think. So, we can change it to playing planes. Huang Lei clapped his hands. Let the chicken heads find some girls. We don't need to do anything else. As long as the people who play billiards pay an extra 20 yuan per hour, we will give them a free masturbation. Our slogan is to play billiards and play planes at the same time, perfect combination of gentlemanly and sport. Combination your grandpa. Li Fan kicked Huang Lei to the ground. Motherfucker. Be serious for this daddy. Big brother, you see, your catchphrase is not environmentally friendly. Fine, I will change it to an environmentally friendly one in the future. Li Fan said angrily, motherfucker, can't you think of a better idea? Don't associate billiards hall with any unethical industry, okay? Then I really don't have any ideas, Huang Lei sighed. I was just talking about it. I almost asked Big Brother if we could find 2 eye sellers. Fuck off. Li Fan was so angry that he was amused. Are you trying to turn my place into a den of thieves? Are you afraid that I won't be caught? Of course not. If Big Brother is arrested, what should I do as a little brother? Huang Lei quickly waved his hand. Then, big brother, what do you think we should do? I'll do whatever you say. The billiards will definitely not change. There is a fixed income here every day. I think we can continue doing this. Li Fan already had some ideas. Then, help me get a cigarette license. Our country doesn't prohibit minors from smoking. Other than instant noodles and water, we can also sell them some cigarettes. He should be able to earn some money from this. With Huang Lei's ability, it shouldn't be too difficult to get a cigarette brand. Let's play something special. Li Fan chuckled. It's boring to let them fight every day. Take out another 2,000 from the budget. Ah? Big brother, what else do you want? When Huang Lei heard that money was going to be taken out, he was a bit distressed. I want to organize a tournament. Li Fan said, in the national tournament, the first place can get 1,000 yuan prize. The second place can get 500 yuan, and the third place can get 300 yuan. What about the other 200 yuan? Buy water. Li Fan said, each participant will get a bottle of mineral water for free. Then we'll lose too much money. What's there to lose? We'll charge 5 yuan for the registration fee. Li Fan revealed his trump card. There are a lot of people who are good at billiards in the second high school. 5 yuan is nothing to them. Plus the hourly fee, it's a good income. Big brother. You're really astute. This is called a business mind. After all, we've changed our appearance. We need some excitement to promote our popularity. After Li Fan and Huang Lei finalized their plan, the two of them were hungry. Motherfucker, that damn old man took away the instant noodles. Huang Lei wanted to lose his temper, but Li Fan patted his shoulder. Okay, go next door and buy 2 bowls of noodles. Big brother's temper is really good. Huang Lei patted his butt and stood up. Wait until tomorrow, I'll put a statue of Guan Yu in the house. It'll attract wealth and suppress evil. Go and buy the noodles. Be polite, don't threaten him, okay? Li Fan added another sentence, which would inevitably ruin the relationship between Huang Lei and the surrounding neighbors. Got it, big brother? I promise I won't cause any trouble. Huang Lei turned around and went out. As soon as he left, the billiard hall's door was pushed open, and 3 students came in. They were also students of the second high school, but the one in the middle didn't wear the school uniform, but wore a set of hipster cowboy clothes. The jeans looked fashionable with holes, but in fact, they had long been eliminated in the previous era. The 2 students next to him were also hoodlums. With both hands in their pockets and a cigarette in their mouth, they followed the one in the middle. The one in the middle, Li Fan immediately recognized him. He was none other than the principal's son, the second high school's little overlord, Hua Dehong. Boss Hua, where are we going to play tonight? The place we went to last time was not bad. Boss Hua, can you bring us to see it again? The 2 hoodlums followed Hua Dehong, and it was said that the 2 of them knew big brothers in the underworld. In the past, Li Fan didn't understand, but now he finally understood. What kind of big brother did he know? He just knew 2 hooligans from the underworld. He was just using this to scare the students. Let's play a few rounds. Hua Dehong snappily said, Today, little fourth, I didn't pay any tribute. How would I have the money to treat you? Let's play billiards. The loser pays tonight. Okay, Boss Hua, then it's a deal. Boss Hua's skill is so good, you have to let me win. The 2 lackeys kept flattering Hua Dehong. Hua Dehong was about to pick a cue, but he saw Li Fan sitting behind the boss's desk. Yo, isn't this the school's popular prince, Li Fan? Hua Dehong curled his lips, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Hey, I heard you've been doing well recently. He directly walked toward Li Fan. The 2 lackeys also picked up a cue and followed Hua Dehong to stand in front of Li Fan. The 3 of them were like 3 gods, condescendingly looking at Li Fan, as if they were ghosts demanding a debt. Do you want to play billiards? Li Fan spread his hand. 10 yuan per hour, no credit? You're the fucking boss? The lackey on Hua Dehong's left was tall and thin. He opened his mouth and scolded, Who do you think you are, asking us for money? This billiard hall now belongs to me. Li Fan didn't get angry, and calmly said, If you don't want to pay, then take care. I won't see you out. Fuck, how can you say that? The lackey on the right was short and fat. He was about to get angry, but was stopped by Hua Dehong. Li Fan, since you're the boss, I have to talk to you. Hua Dahong patted the cue in his hand and stood there with his legs spread out. There's a debt, we have to settle it. Chapter 69. Oh, settle accounts? What accounts? Li Fan raised his eyebrows. The previous boss borrowed 200 yuan from me. Hua Dahong stretched out 2 fingers. He ran away, and you became the boss. This 200 yuan should be returned by you, right? Li Fan was amused. 200 yuan, this guy really has the nerve to ask for it. I was wondering what the school's bully was like, but it turns out he's just SOSO. Li Fan sneered. 200 yuan, you really think you're a beggar? Fuck you, you're fucking an outsider, aren't you? The short fatty raised his cue stick and swung it at Li Fan. But Li Fan moved even faster. He stretched out his right hand and directly grabbed the short fatty's ear. He pulled his fat head and big ears down forcefully. Oh my god. The short fatty's head was forced to press against the table, his ear was still hurting, and the cue stick in his hand fell with a clang. Guys, if you want to settle accounts with the previous boss, then go to him. It's useless to look for me. You let go first. Hua Dahong and the tall skinny guy saw their companion was in pain, and immediately scolded Li Fan. Guys, do you still want to play billiards? Li Fan pulled the fat guy's ear, without any intention of letting go, and instead asked with a smile. Brat, you fucking have guts. Hua Dahong said fiercely, you will not be able to survive in this school. Ayaya, this sounds familiar. Li Fan's left hand dug the earwax, and his right hand pulled the fat guy's ear, without any intention of letting go. Right? It seems that the principal also said the same to me. Li Fan laughed. Little bully, even your dad said this to me. I'm not afraid. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Is there something wrong with your brain? Li Fan, don't be cocky with me. My dad can't deal with you, but I can. Hua Dahong said fiercely, don't run after school today. Okay, I'll wait for you. Li Fan showed no sign of fear. Let's meet at the entrance of the billiard hall. All right, let's go. Hua Dahong's hand tugged at Li Fan's arm for a long time, but Li Fan's arm seemed to be made of iron and didn't move at all. He could only hold back his anger and roar angrily. I won't stay for long. Li Fan finally retracted his finger and patted Fatty's forehead with his palm. Ouch! The short fatty was immediately pushed away by Li Fan's hand. He staggered back 3 steps and finally fell on his butt. His butt broke into 8 pieces and he grinned. You're good. Just you wait. Don't run away tonight. Hua Dahong spoke ruthlessly and walked out with his 2 followers. Bai Lin Luo asked me to send his regards. Li Fan waved in the direction they left, thinking to himself, what kind of school bullies are they? His father was the principal, so he could be the little tyrant. If his father was not the principal, he would have already been beaten to death. Speaking of which, this Hua Dahong ate a bellyful of dust in the billiard hall. His heart was in a bad mood. When he returned to school, he immediately began to recruit people, preparing for a big fight at night. Xiao Li, come beat someone up with me tonight. Hua Dahong took out his phone. The 3 of them hid in the toilet and smoked while calling their friends one by one. Boss Hua, who do you want to beat up? Xiao Li, I will climb a mountain of swords and dive into a sea of flames to help you beat him to death. No one, just beat up a guy named Li Fan. You only need 7 or 8 people to do it. Boss Hua, I suddenly remembered that these 2 days I have a stomach ache. The enthusiastic Xiao Li immediately declined. Maybe it's a cold these 2 days. In 2 days I will help you beat him up. I'll hang up first, I have to go buy medicine. Buy your paralysis medicine. Are you on your period? The other side has already hung up the phone. Hua Dahong angrily cursed, fuck you, go buy sanitary pads. He thought for a moment and called Wang Cheng. This kid's family has some background. He is usually tyrannical in school and has a good relationship with him. If he beats someone up, he will definitely come out to help. Xiangzi, what are you doing? Boss Hua, I'm going for a drive. Wang Cheng sat in his newly bought BMW Z4. Next to him sat a beautiful new student girl who was crazily taking selfies with her phone. Do you have time tonight? Yeah, why? Which place do you want to go? Wang Chang immediately recommended. Recently there's a new night place. This girl is very excited. Boss Hua, I'll be the host today. Let's go have some fun? When will we go? I have something to do today and you have to help me. Who are we? Why are you talking about help? You're treating me like an outsider. Wang Chang immediately agreed. Say it, what do you want this little brother to do? Bring 2 people over tonight to beat someone up with me. Isn't it just beating someone up? Who do you want to beat up with so many people? Don't worry, I'll help you beat him up. If there's really no one, I'll hire 2 bodyguards for you. That's not necessary. It's just beating up Li Fan. He seems to be in the same class as you. Boss Hua, I suddenly got a call. It seems my dad's company is having a shareholders meeting. That's it, I might have a meeting tonight. I'll contact you later. Saying that, he hung up the phone. Fuck your grandpa. Wang Chang. Fuck your ancestors. Hua Dahong cursed. What does your dad's shareholders meeting have to do with you? Who the fuck are these people? Boss. Could it be that they don't dare to come? The short fatty covered his red and swollen ears. He seemed to have understood something. Fuck your mom? Did you get screwed, silly? Hua Dahong slapped the short fatty's face. Isn't it just Li Fan? Who does he think he is? If these 2 bastards don't come, I won't be able to find him? Tonight, I'll fucking teach that kid a lesson. Little 4 Eyes, I'll avenge you tonight. Do you want to come? After returning to class, Li Fan asked his desk mate, Bai Lin Luo. Bai Lin Luo had already gone home to change a pair of glasses. Hearing Li Fan's words, he finally pulled his attention away from the paper and glanced at Li Fan. Avenge? Avenge what? To help you beat up the little tyrant? Li Fan patted Bai Lin Luo's shoulder. Tonight, I'll let you see what it means to face the little tyrant head-on. Is this okay? Bai Lin Luo was a bit worried. If the school knows that you 2 fought, they'll definitely expel you. No, they'll expel you. Who cares? Let's fight first. Li Fan chuckled. If you're worried, help me make a plan. Li Fan, you're scheming against me. Bai Lin Luo pushed his glasses. You want me to help you come up with a bad idea? No, this is called a conspiracy. Li Fan began to rope in Bai Lin Luo. Although you're usually low-key, I know that you like to watch Romance of the 3 Kingdoms. I want to do something big, but I need someone to help me. Little 4 Eyes, I don't know many people except for you. Are you willing to help me? Chapter 70. Are you trying to drag me down with you? Bai Lin Luo looked at Li Fan strangely. I am a good student. Little 4 Eyes, let me ask you. What are we living for? To marry a beautiful wife, to find a comfortable job, and after that? Li Fan continued to ask. After that, Bai Lin Luo didn't know how to answer. Think about our life. It is all planned. Li Fan continued to tempt Bai Lin Luo. He wanted to start a career, but it was not enough to rely on himself. In the society, he had Huang Lei's help. In terms of planning, he was not comprehensive enough. He needed someone to help him plan the big picture. Although Bai Lin Luo was usually low-key and looked easy to bully, Li Fan felt that he was quite smart and had a long-term vision. His main task today was to drag him down with him. I hope we can do something together. While we are young, while we are still motivated. Bai Lin Luo, do you want to follow the path that others have set for you? Li Fan pulled his arm. Get into a good university, find a good job, marry a good wife, and have a good baby. Then let the baby get into a good university, find a good job, marry a good wife, and have a baby. What's the difference between this and a shepherd boy? What you said seems to make sense. Follow me then. Little 4 Eyes. Li Fan hugged Bai Lin Luo's shoulder again. I believe you can do something with me, and it will be something big. You really believe me? Bai Lin Luo was surprised. He didn't expect Li Fan to believe in a student like him. Bai Lin Luo's results were not bad, but he was invisible in the class. Even during Chinese New Year, his classmates didn't send him any messages to congratulate him. It was like this in junior high and senior high school. And who was Li Fan? He was practically the school's celebrity now. For such a celebrity to be willing to take him along, It was really beyond his expectations. It could even be said that he was a little flattered. Of course, I have high hopes for you, young man. Li Fan patted Bai Lin Luo's shoulder hard. Are you willing to follow me? Comrade Bai Lin Luo. I'm still a little scared. In the end, Bai Lin Luo wasn't sure if Li Fan would lead him into the ditch. He was just an ordinary student. How could he break away from an ordinary life? Bai Lin Luo, if you want to follow me, you can't have such overcautious thoughts. Li Fan immediately said, if you are always so overcautious, we can't do our business. Then let me think about it. Bai Lin Luo felt uneasy. He did not do well in this class. He didn't listen to the teacher's words. After class, Bai Lin Luo was worried that Li Fan would ask him about this matter, so he ran to the sports field to hide. There was a small forest in the sports field. Usually, students rarely came here. It was a quiet place for Bai Lin Luo to hide. At this time, he sat on a big rock, looking at the yellow leaves on the branches. His mind was still thinking about what Li Fan said to him. But getting into a good school, finding a good job. This has always been my life goal. Following Li Fan, changing my daily life. Is this really good? Bai Lin Luo didn't know what to do. At this time, Hua Dehong, without knowing why, also walked into this small forest. Fuck Li Fan, this kid, I'll beat him to death tonight. As Hua Dehong walked, he kicked a small rock by the side. I found 10 people, I guarantee that he'll be looking for his teeth on the ground. When Bai Lin Luo saw the little tyrant and the two familiar fat and skinny lackeys, he didn't dare to say anything and turned to leave. Stop. Hua Dehong didn't have the intention to let him go. He directly blocked in front of Bai Lin Luo. One of his feet stepped on the tree trunk by the side, blocking Bai Lin Luo's path. Where are you going, little four eyes? Class is about to start. I'm going back. Bai Lin Luo's heart was trembling. He was afraid when he saw Hua Dehong. Fuck. Did I say you could leave? Hua Dehong slapped Bai Lin Luo's face, sending his glasses flying. Fuck you, where's the money that I asked you to give me? Hua Dehong questioned. You only know how to stroll around. You sure know how to find a place. The scenery here is beautiful, right? The fallen leaves are beautiful, right? I really don't have any money. Fuck you. Hua Dehong kicked Bai Lin Luo's body, sending him tumbling to the ground. You still dare to talk back? You have money to change your glasses, but you don't have money to give to me? I went home to change them. Then don't you know to go home to get the money? Hua Dehong scolded. Are you looking down on me? Do you believe that I won't let you stay in school? Fuck you, you deserve a beating. With that, Hua Dehong and his two lackeys kicked Bai Lin Luo a few times. Finally, Hua Dehong spat out and tidied up his clothes. If you don't give me the money tomorrow, I'll continue to beat you up. After venting his anger, Hua Dehong felt much better and left with his two lackeys. There was no one else in the forest. After a long time, Bai Lin Luo barely managed to climb up. He silently picked up his glasses and limped back to the school building. When he returned to class, it just so happened that the black fatty Chang Chuanxi's class was about to begin. What time is it? If you're late, then stand outside. Chang Chuanxi's expression was very unhappy as he reprimanded. Teacher Chang, it's obvious that he was beaten up. Li Fan immediately stood up and said, shouldn't you first ask who beat him up? What does a student's fight have to do with a teacher? Chang Chuanxi's pair of bull eyes stared at Li Fan. It takes 2 hands to clap. It's already good enough that I didn't call his parents when he was fighting. And you, who allowed you to speak? Don't you understand the rules of the class? Other than things related to learning, you're not allowed to talk about anything else. Can't you show some concern for your classmates? What kind of school is this? There's no human touch at all. Li Fan was unhappy. Chang Chuanxi slammed the podium. I think you're the one who's the one. What kind of student are you? You don't even have any rules. Get out and stand together. I'll stand then. When Li Fan's temper was stubborn, even 9 bulls couldn't pull him back. He swaggered out of the class. Chang Chuanxi scolded, go out and close the door. Don't worry, Teacher Chang, I promise to close the door. After all, I don't want to see you. With that, Li Fan heavily closed the classroom door. He didn't care how angry Chang Chuanxi was. He could do whatever he wanted. Tell me, who beat you up? Li Fan looked at Bai Lin Luo and asked. But Bai Lin Luo suddenly squatted down and wiped his tears. Damn, a man doesn't cry easily. Li Fan was a bit annoyed. Don't cry. Tell me, I'll help you. Chapter 71. Let me cry for a while. It will be fine in a while. Bai Lin Luo squatted on the ground, wiping his tears. Li Fan had no choice but to let him cry. After crying for 5 minutes, Bai Lin Luo finally stood up, wiped his eyes, and put on his glasses. Li Fan, I will follow you from now on. Bai Lin Luo's eyes became firm. No matter if the road is right or wrong, good or bad, I will follow you. As long as you can help me take revenge. It's not me helping you take revenge, it's us taking revenge for you together. Li Fan held Bai Lin Luo's shoulder. Remember, we are all men, we can't be bullied so easily. Hua Dahong was born by his parents, but we are not. We all have 2 eyes and 1 nose, we are born equal, why can he bully us? And we will resist together. Bai Lin Luo pushed his glasses. I want to let him know that we are not easy to bully. That's right. Li Fan lowered his voice. Tonight I asked him to have a fight in the billiard hall, but I don't want the school leaders to find out. Leave it to me. Bai Lin Luo's eyes behind the glasses flashed with wisdom. As long as we divert the attention of the teachers and leaders. How to divert them? Do you want to set them on fire? Li Fan said if it was Huang Lei, he would really do it. No need, leave this matter to me. Bai Lin Luo said confidently, I guarantee that all the teachers in the school will come to play with me, you can rest assured to take care of the little tyrant. Then I'll leave it to you. Li Fan believed that Bai Lin Luo could handle this matter. From today onwards, we are brothers. Li Fan suddenly felt a little excited. With the help of an intellectual talent like Bai Lin Luo, he could go further in his career. I've already bought the billiard hall in front of the school. Li Fan said, for at least a year and a half, it will be our territory. In the future, we'll discuss the grand plan there. It feels like an uprising. Bai Lin Luo said shyly with his head lowered. It's not an uprising, it's a revolution. A smile appeared at the corner of Li Fan's mouth. Chang Chuanxi, that guy, he sees us as dregs and wants to drive us students out of the school. Then I'll let him know who the real master of the school is. All students shouldn't be treated differently. It's time for us to rebel. Bai Lin Luo nodded. No matter what, he still had to follow Li Fan. Since he had made up his mind, he could not regret it. Even if you're a pirate ship, I'm not getting off. Bai Lin Luo muttered. What did you say? Li Fan was so happy that he didn't hear what Li Fan said. Nothing. Anyway, there's nothing else to do. How about we play chess? Bai Lin Luo suddenly suggested. Where's the chess? I have it. Bai Lin Luo smiled and took out a small blue book from his bosom. When he opened it, there was a small chessboard inside. The chess pieces on it weren't big and were made of magnets. I like to play chess and I don't like to play with my phone. Want to play? Come on. Li Fan was afraid of nothing. Since he couldn't play in the class, he could play in the corridor. These 2 students who were punished to stand were sitting in the corridor. They played one after another, without any atmosphere of being punished. After 3 rounds, Li Fan didn't win even once. He wanted to play another 2 rounds, but the class was over. Although Li Fan wasn't afraid of trouble, he didn't want to look for trouble, so he didn't continue to pester Bai Lin Luo to play chess. Until the evening after school, Lin Yuetan didn't call. Li Fan could only ask his friend to tell Lin Yin to go home first, and he would catch up later. At this time, Bai Lin Luo also took action. He went to the school's tieba and posted a post. Then he walked to the roof of a teaching building behind the school. He slowly took off his school uniform, folded it neatly, and put it aside. Then he carefully sat on the edge of the balcony. Looking down, it was the 6th floor. It was very high, and he felt dizzy just by looking at it. Bai Lin Luo endured the fear in his heart, sat on the balcony, and began to count down. 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. In less than 5 minutes, someone ran to the bottom of the teaching building and shouted at Bai Lin Luo, who was on top of the building. Come and see. Someone from grade 2 class 2 is going to jump off the building. There's a show to watch. Jump, hurry up and jump. This spread from 1 to 10, and with the help of the tieba, many students gathered below the teaching building. With this, the school's top management was alarmed. Chang Chuanxi, the dean, and the others all came. Even the principal personally came downstairs. If a student jumped off the building, he would definitely lose his position as the principal. This was too fucked up. Why did it have to happen at this time? This bunch of students, can't they just calm down for a while? Chang Chuanxi, a student from your class. The principal pointed at Chang Chuanxi, and his heart was bleeding. The reason why he called him over was so that he could settle these troubles. Why did this big trouble of Li Fan not be settled? And now there's this guy who wants to jump off the building. Jump, jump. If you have the guts, jump down. The surrounding students didn't mind the commotion, and Chang Chuanxi was a little flustered. All of you, shut up. The students downstairs were too noisy. Chang Chuanxi shouted at them, and they quietened down. Bai Lin Luo, what are you doing? Calm down. Chang Chuanxi shouted at the rooftop, let's talk things out. If you have any difficulties, you can tell us. Don't take things too hard. Bai Lin Luo looked down. It seemed that the audience had gathered, and he hoped that Li Fan's side would also be able to proceed smoothly. He took a deep breath, and then let out a hysterical shout. I don't want to live anymore, you damn bitches. You all want to see me die, right? I'll jump for you now. Don't jump, ancestor. The principal almost knelt down. What grievances do you have? Tell us. We will definitely help you solve it. There are people bullying me in school every day, and neither the teachers nor the school cares. I get beaten up every day, and there's no one to reason with. What's the point of living? I'll just die. Bai Lin Luo cried, and then he grabbed his school uniform and threw it down. Looking at the falling uniform, the principal almost had a heart attack. Luckily, it wasn't a person who jumped, or else it would be bad. We will definitely help you solve these problems. Come down first and we will have a good talk, okay, Bai Lin Luo? Chang Chuanxi also clenched his teeth. This damn Bai Lin Luo, why didn't he die in his own home? Why did he want to jump off the building in school? Isn't this giving me more trouble? Chapter 72. When Bai Lin Luo was showing off his acting skills, Li Fan also returned to the billiard hall. This time, Li Fan discovered that there was a large group of punks sitting in the billiard hall. Each and every one of them were smoking and drinking, making the billiard hall a foul atmosphere. Huang Lei, what's going on? Li Fan angrily cursed. Fuck, how can you talk to our brother Lei like that? One of the punks was suddenly unhappy. He directly picked up a chair and walked toward Li Fan. Li Fan frowned, clenched his fists, and was ready to beat this kid to the ground. Unexpectedly, Huang Lei ran over and shouted at the punks. What are you shouting for? This is my big brother. Do you understand? Oh, big brother, I'm sorry, please don't take offense. Only then did the hooligan put down the chair. In fact, Li Fan had already seen some clues. This punks shouted quite happily, but he didn't have the slightest intention of stepping forward. Who are these people? Li Fan couldn't help but ask. There were about 30 punks in here, and there were dozens of people standing outside. Where did Huang Lei get such a group of gods? Hee, big brother, I hired them for 20 yuan each. A total of 100 people, isn't it overbearing? Huang Lei pulled Li Fan to the side and whispered, these people are all punks who have nothing to do every day. They stay in the internet cafe every day. These people can be hired by a human trafficker. I just spent some money to get them to cheer for us. Cheer? Cheer for what? Li Fan couldn't help but ask. It's an auspicious opening. Huang Lei said with some regret, Big brother, if you didn't break the dragon bed yesterday, we could have saved 10,000 yuan. I was planning to hire a lion dance team for this 10,000 yuan. At that time, it would be lively. Also, exorcism. Exorcism your sister. It's like the opening of a dojo. Li Fan rolled his eyes. Hurry up and make them leave. What are they doing here? Students who want to play billiards can't come in. All right. Huang Lei nodded and waved his hand. Second brother, come here. Hey, you're here, brother Lei. A green-haired man wearing a small vest ran over. He looked at Huang Lei as if he was looking at a rich man. Take your people and leave. Huang Lei took out 2,000 yuan and drew out another 200 yuan. The 200 yuan is your commission, and the rest is your share. Brother Lei is so loyal. Lao Er happily accepted the money and took out his phone. Everyone, it's time to collect your money. I'm giving you a red packet. $10 each. Remember to collect it. All right. Let's go online. Fuck. This time we must get platinum. Li Fan said. He finally got these gurus to leave. But at this moment, a dozen people came from the billiard hall. The one leading them was Hua Dahong. Hua Dahong was originally aggressive. He planned to lead his men to kick Li Fan's ass and make him cry and apologize. But when he saw these gangsters at the billiard hall entrance, his scalp went numb. These people? Who are they? Come quickly. Thank you, Brother Lei. Thank you, Master Fan. Lao Er already knew Li Fan's name. He gave an order and the 100 or so gangsters bowed to Huang Lei and Li Fan respectively. Thank you, Brother Lei. Thank you, Master Fan. Hua Dahong was stunned. What's going on? Fuck, are you trying to scare me? Behind him were more than 10 gangsters. Hua Dahong could only bite the bullet and shouted at Li Fan. You fucking found so many people? Fuck your mother. How can you talk to Master Fan like that? Are you looking for a beating? Brothers, pick up your weapons. The surrounding gangsters began to put on an act again. Some picked up bricks, some picked up pieces of wood. With more than 100 people, Hua Dahong was scared to the point that he peed his pants. The dozen or so gangsters behind him were also scared. Although they were able to mix around in school, but in front of these gangsters in the society, they paled in comparison. Li Fan. You fucking unreasonable. Hua Dahong was stared at by a gangster. He could not help but tremble. We agreed to fight. Don't invite so many people. What a joke. Li Fan smiled. Didn't you also bring people? Big brother, is this guy looking for trouble with you? Huang Lei understood and cursed. Motherfucker. Today, the billiard hall just opened and there are already people looking for trouble? Just right, I'll use you guys as a reward. Lao Er, be sensible. Alright, brothers, pick up your weapons. Lao Er also picked up a chair from the side. Who wants to make a move on our Master Fan? Leave one of your legs behind. I came here to play billiard. I went to the side to eat noodles. The students who followed Hua Dahong all ran away in fright. The fat and thin lackeys also ran away, leaving only Hua Dahong standing there. The dignified little tyrant, at this moment, both his legs were trembling. He could not even stand straight. Li Fan. You can't bully people. What? Li Fan dug his ears. What did you say? You brought so many people. What kind of hero are you? Hua Dahong reprimanded. If you have guts, fight me one-on-one. He had learned Taekwondo since he was young. If it was one-on-one, he had the confidence to kill Li Fan. As the saying goes, take the head of the general among thousands of soldiers. If he could settle Li Fan, these people would not do anything to him. Don't be afraid. I am the little tyrant. How can a tyrant from second high school be afraid of these people? 3 years of Taekwondo training was not for nothing. I am a red belt and expert. It would be a piece of cake to deal with this little Li Fan. Want to fight me one-on-one? Li Fan looked at Hua Dahong in surprise, while Huang Lei could not help but slap his thigh and laugh. Ha! Fight big brother one-on-one. This is too funny. Don't joke around. The other party is serious. Li Fan has the dignity of a martial artist. He stopped Huang Lei's ridicule. Hua Dahong, I accept your one-on-one challenge. Should we give way? Lao Er just asked, but Huang Lei waved his hand. No need. I can settle it in 2 moves. Hua Dahong said in his heart, does this punk know that I know Taekwondo? He has good eyes. Little tyrant, please make your move. Li Fan crooked his finger at Hua Dahong. Let me see how strong a tyrant from second high school is. Idiot, I am a Taekwondo red belt. Hua Dahong was looked down upon by Li Fan. His heart was filled with anger. I want to kick your front teeth out. With that, Hua Dahong rushed forward and kicked Li Fan's head. Ai, Li Fan sighed. What, Taekwondo red belt? It's full of flaws. Compared to Brother Nan's kick, the difference is too big. Hua Dahong was confident that this kick would definitely knock out 2 of Li Fan's front teeth. But at this time, Li Fan stretched out his hand and placed it in front of him. Chapter 73. Pa. Li Fan gently waved his palm and easily slapped away Hua Dahong's kick. It was as if Hua Dahong's kick had no effect on him. Too weak. Li Fan sneered. I'm so disappointed. Motherfucker. I didn't put in any effort just now. Although Hua Dahong was a little surprised, he still quickly kicked 3 times. Each kick went straight for Li Fan's face. It was child's play. Li Fan couldn't help but complain. It was like a child's gesture. Li Fan's palm was still upright in front of him for these 3 kicks, and he gently slapped them away. As the saying goes, hands are 2 doors. At this time, Li Fan's one hand played the role of door god, and Hua Dahong didn't have any temper. He only felt a little unbelievable. Did I practice Taekwondo for nothing? How did Li Fan do it? He only used his palm to slap away my attack? Hua Dahong, you can give up your title of Little Overlord. Without waiting for Hua Dahong to react, Li Fan suddenly appeared in front of him. This punch, I'm giving you on behalf of Bai Lin Luo. As he said, Li Fan's fist suddenly came from the side. Hua Dahong only felt a blur in front of him, followed by a sharp pain on his cheek. Li Fan didn't use the 5 animals combined attack. To deal with a rookie like Hua Dahong, using martial arts was simply an insult to a martial artist. It was just an ordinary fist, but it hit Hua Dahong's right cheek. Hua Dahong's whole body spun out, and he spat out a broken tooth from his mouth. He fell heavily on the ground with blood dripping from the corner of his mouth. There's another kick, I'm giving you on behalf of myself. Li Fan didn't have the slightest mercy and walked toward him. You fucking dare to hit me. Although Hua Dahong was stunned, he quickly understood. He looked at Li Fan and cursed, Motherfucker. I'm not done with you. The principal is my father. Principal, he's still my son. Li Fan kicked Hua Dahong's body, and the man was immediately sent flying. He hit an electric pole behind him and fainted on the spot. Ah, Hua Dahong, why did you faint here? Li Fan suddenly clapped his hands and walked forward in surprise. Who did it? Why did you beat up the principal's son? The surrounding people were all speechless. Weren't you the one who beat him up just now? Big brother, it wasn't someone else who beat him up. He hit a telephone pole when he was crossing the road. Huang Lei quickly raised his hand and shouted, Who knows where his eyes are? He actually hit the electric pole. What an idiot. Yes, he ran into it himself. I saw it too. The people around them nodded, while Li Fan sighed regretfully. Sigh, he must have gone stupid from school. We're all classmates. Although he's a little stupid, I can't just ignore him. With that, Li Fan took out his phone. I have to tell the teacher to let the principal take his son to see a doctor. There aren't many good people like me. I'm a selfless Lei Feng. Li Fan praised himself. The people around him were about to vomit. Damn it. If Hua Dahong woke up and heard this, he would probably faint from anger again. Li Fan used his phone to send a message to the school's leader. At the same time, the principal was trying his best to persuade Bai Lin Luo. No matter what anyone said, it was useless. Bai Lin Luo was sitting on the roof, ready to jump down at any moment. The principal felt that his heart was about to jump out. Just then Bai Lin Luo's phone rang 3 times. The corner of his mouth curled up slightly. Bai Lin Luo, you're still young. Don't take things too hard. You still have a long way to go in life. Do you know that? This was the first time Chang Chuanxi was trying his best to persuade someone. He felt that he was not suited for this. It was fine for him to teach students. But persuading people? His standard was too low. All right, I understand. Bai Lin Luo sat back. Then under everyone's stunned gaze, he climbed back to the balcony and bowed to Chang Chuanxi. Thank you for your guidance. You're a good teacher. I understand. I'm still young. I don't want to die. Chang Chuanxi was stunned. What the heck? The change in attitude was too fast. Thank you for your guidance. I won't seek death anymore. Our school is really humane. I'll ask my family to send a silk banner over. When Bai Lin Luo said this, his face didn't even blush. Forget about the silk banner. As long as you don't seek death. Don't be impulsive in the future. The principal also heaved a sigh of relief. Recently, there were so many disasters. Why was this change in leadership so difficult? Got it. Thank you, teachers. I'll go home now. Bai Lin Luo skipped back home while the principal started to chase him away. All right. There's no more excitement to watch. Go home quickly. He was planning to go for a massage to relax. He didn't expect his phone to suddenly ring. Then, his expression changed. Principal, look at me. I'm an all-rounder. Chang Chuanxi was still trying to take credit from the principal. Bai Lin Luo is such a fragile person. I managed to persuade him. I feel that other than being a teacher, I can also be the school's psychiatrist. I can help the principal solve problems. Solve problems your head. The principal couldn't help but curse. His expression was ugly. He turned around and walked out of the school. Principal? What happened to you? Chang Chuanxi didn't know what happened. He was stunned after being scolded. My son was beaten up in front of the school gate. The principal left in a hurry. His face was filled with anxiety. This precious son of his was born at an old age. He treasured him so much that he couldn't even bear to scold him. Now that he was beaten up, wasn't it the same as cutting his heart with a knife? What? De Hong was beaten up? Who dared to beat him up? Let me go take a look. Chang Chuanxi followed behind the principal. At the same time, he was also muttering in his heart. Hua De Hong was known as the second middle school's little tyrant. Even in first middle school, he had heard of him. Such a student. Who had the ability to beat him up? A few teachers followed the principal and rushed to the school gate. Sure enough, Hua De Hong was lying on the ground with blood dripping from the corner of his mouth. De Hong, what happened to you? Wake up. Look at your father. The principal's heart ached. He went up and hugged his son, shouting his name. Principal, don't worry. Your son didn't die. He just fainted from the impact. Li Fan stood at the side. It was as if he was watching a show. He even stretched out his hand to take credit. Principal, I saw your son fainting and told you. There's no need to give him a reward. Should we hold a commendation ceremony in school to promote my selfless spirit of helping others? Huang Lei was amused. His elder brother was really sarcastic. He could even say such things. Li Fan, look at what you did. Chang Chuanxi pointed at Li Fan. Tell me, did you beat him up? Chapter 74. Tell me, did you hit him? Chang Chuanxi questioned Li Fan. I'm being wronged. Li Fan shouted that he was being wronged. There's no such thing. I'm a good citizen, a good student, and I've received the education of patriotism. How could I have hit someone? You guys are really good at wronging people. I kindly informed you to bring Hua De Hong to see a doctor, but in the end I was framed. His voice was especially loud, echoing in everyone's ears as he recounted his grievances. Indeed, it's hard to be a good person. No wonder there aren't any good people nowadays. This world is too disappointing. Sigh, morals are degenerating day by day, and people's hearts are not what they used to be. Chang Chuanxi felt a little awkward. Could this Li Fan really be innocent? Dad. At this moment, Hua De Hong suddenly woke up and pointed at Li Fan, saying, Dad? He hit me. With that, Hua De Hong fainted again. The principal immediately glared at Li Fan, while Chang Chuanxi pointed at Li Fan. What else do you have to say now? This is too much. Li Fan continued to cry out, Is this the rumored Pengzi? I'm so tired. In the past, I never believed that there would be such a person, but today I've seen it for myself. You guys are the school's leaders. How can you do such a heartless thing? You're accusing the guilty party first. There's no justice in this. The people around them echoed in agreement. Li Fan seemed to be encouraged as he looked at Chang Chuanxi and the principal in disbelief. I've helped you guys, but you're trying to extort me. Why, as a principal of such a big school, can't you even afford this little bit of medical fees? It's okay if you can't afford it. Don't you like to get the students to donate money? Let everyone donate money for your son. 1 yuan per person, even if your son is disabled, you'll have money to treat him. Li Fan, what are you trying to do? Chang Chuanxi couldn't help but scold. Is it because no one can control you? Are you lawless now? Teacher Chang, as a teacher, you should naturally understand this principle. Li Fan was unperturbed as he calmly replied, you need evidence to speak. Nonsense is a rumor. Teacher Chang, do you have any proof that I hit Hua Dahong? Hua Dahong said it himself, you were the one who hit him. Li Fan had a smile on his face. That's interesting. He said that I would hit him, so he hit me? Why don't I hit you? Chang Chuanxi was stunned for a moment. These words seemed very familiar. He seemed to have heard them before. In short, if you don't have evidence, don't accuse good people. Li Fan was not polite at all. You don't have any verification or physical evidence. How can you say that I hit someone? There are so many people around, why don't you ask them if I was the one who hit them? No, he hit himself. That's right, this person might be a little retarded, banging his head against the electric pole. Not only do we have to look at his injuries, but we also have to look at his brain. Everyone laughed, while Chang Chuanxi flew into a rage out of humiliation, but there was nothing he could do. Li Fan, don't give me that. Chang Chuanxi gritted his teeth and said, sooner or later, we will find evidence against you. A scumbag like you should be kicked out of the school, and like these hooligans, sooner or later you will become the trash of society. Motherfucker, who are you calling trash? When Huang Lei heard this, he was immediately unhappy. Motherfucker, dressing like a dog, are you tired of living? Do you know how to speak after eating shit in the morning? Huang Lei had already pulled out a switchblade from his hip pocket. The principal's face immediately changed. What do you want? Do you want to hurt someone? I, your father, can't peel an apple? Huang Lei rolled his eyes, took out an apple out of nowhere, and started peeling it. Li Fan was full of admiration. This guy really knew how to make a prank. He actually made an apple. Your school's control is too broad. It's fine if you control the students, but you even control us eating an apple. What kind of joke is this, Pei? Huang Lei spat on the ground. On the surface, you look like a proper person, but when you peel off that layer of skin, you are not even comparable to us. Idiot. I will not lower myself to the same level as you. Although Chang Chuanxi dared to deal with the hooligans in the school, but he did not dare to deal with the hooligans outside. He did not dare to provoke them. Idiot, then quickly scram. Huang Lei cursed. Since the police would not care if he cursed, he could curse as he pleased. Treat Dahong's injury first. The principal did not want to be entangled with Li Fan. Although he felt sorry for his son, it was not the time to pursue the matter. After all, they could not get any evidence of Li Fan hitting someone. If they continued to cause trouble, it would not be beneficial to anyone. However, there was something strange about the whole incident today. Li Fan, today's matter is definitely not over. Chang Chuanxi could only leave with the headmaster, but he left such a sentence to Li Fan. All right, I hope to continue communicating with Teacher Chang in terms of study and life. Li Fan bowed to Chang Chuanxi. Goodbye, Teacher Chang. Principal, take care. His attitude really angered both the principal and Chang Chuanxi. The principal looked at Hua Dahong, who was placed on the stretcher, and his heart was in pain. Chang Chuanxi, I want Li Fan to scram out of my school. The principal's voice was filled with uncontrollable anger as he said to Chang Chuanxi, all right, principal. This kind of student should have been kicked out of the school long ago. Chang Chuanxi nodded. He is now a troublemaker, and he even brought the surrounding students to rebel against us. The school must not allow this kind of person to stay. His existence is a scourge. Now that the school is reorganizing, there are many things that I cannot show myself. The principal said darkly, if you help me settle this, the position of the school's office director will be yours. I will definitely do my best. The two of them were discussing how to deal with Li Fan. At this moment, Li Fan had already left the billiard hall in a hurry and was on his way to Lin Yunyan's house. He had taught Hua Dahong a lesson, but he still had a long way to go. Li Fan did not want to target the school, as he himself really liked going to school. From here, he could gain knowledge, get to know classmates and friends. But there were some people in the school who were too much. The differential treatment of the teachers, the school's arbitrary fees, these were all things that should have been reformed long ago. Why was everything good students did right, and everything bad students did wrong? Why were the things that had been taught in class forced to be taught again? And why was Hua Dehong, the initiator of school violence, able to continue to exist? There were many things that Li Fan could not get to the bottom of. What he could do was to start from the second high school. What was there to be afraid of? Didn't Grandpa Mao said that fighting with the heavens, fighting with the earth, and fighting with people was endless joy? Without a pair of iron shoes, Li Fan's pace was faster. Before the sky turned dark, he had already arrived at Lin Yueqian's building. Her room was still lit. As agreed, Li Fan stood in front of the door and barked 3 times like a dog. Chapter 75. To be honest, Li Fan felt that this was not a remedial course, but more like a clandestine love affair. It couldn't be helped, as Lin Yueqian's upbringing was so strict. Unlike his own parents, who abandoned him and ran away. The two of them were traveling around the world, leaving him to suffer here. Li Fan stood outside the door, imitating a puppy, and barked 3 times. After a minute, the door was gently opened. Lin Yueqian did not speak, but looked around vigilantly, as if she was determined to stick to her job. Was the journey safe? Did anyone follow you? Sis, don't make it look like a spy movie. Li Fan was on the verge of breaking down. We were just taking remedial courses, a pure revolutionary friendship. Why did you dirty it? Who's dirty? Lin Yueqian dragged Li Fan in and closed the door. Then she grumbled, I'm just being careful. If my mother finds out, I'm dead meat. Auntie is too stingy. She should support students helping each other. Li Fan was a little depressed. If I don't do well this time, I'll be kicked out. You can't blame my mother, it's mainly because I'm too beautiful. Lin Yueqian said confidently, my mother will naturally worry about the boys who approach me. I like how confident you are. Li Fan said as he looked at Lin Yueqian's house. The rooms in this kind of tube-shaped apartment were not big, about 20 square meters in total. There were no bedrooms, only 2 military beds in the living room, which looked very shabby. There was no furniture in the room, only a small table with Lin Yueqian's books on it. There was a small cabinet next to it, and on top of it was an induction cooker that had been used for God knows how long. It was probably a small kitchen. The house was so shabby that it did not even have a toilet. There was only a public toilet downstairs. What did you mean when you said you were going to be fired? As if noticing Li Fan's gaze, Lin Yueqian felt a little embarrassed. She quickly changed the topic to attract Li Fan's attention. Sai, let's not talk about it. The school is now at loggerheads with me. Li Fan knew what Lin Yueqian was thinking, so he continued to talk about it. Today, I beat up the little tyrant, Hua Dehong. I bet the principal hates me to death, huh? What have you done? Lin Yueqian was on the verge of breaking down. You're still stirring up trouble at a time like this? Didn't we agree not to let you cause trouble? It can't be helped. Who told him to hit by Lin Luo? Li Fan shrugged his shoulders. In my place, whoever beats up my brother, I will definitely fight back. However, the school currently has no evidence of me hitting someone, so I can only suffer a loss. Chang Chuanxi is waiting for me to fail the exam and then kick me out of the school. According to the school rules, there are a total of 6 exams after the second year of high school. If you fail 5 subjects, you will be expelled. Lin Yueqian recalled the school rules. You're in the liberal arts class. History, geography, politics, and the 3 main subjects. Which one are you best at? History. Li Fan still had something to be proud of. I used to study history well, but I didn't study it seriously. What's the worst? Mathematics. Even now, I feel like I'm reading a book from heaven. I can understand. After all, your intelligence is limited. Lin Yueqian nodded. There's a gap between you and someone like me. You can't blame yourself. Miss Lin, in your eyes, is everyone in this world except you ugly and idiotic? Li Fan finally couldn't help but ridicule. I'm not like what you're saying. That's a kind of sick heart. Lin Yueqian corrected Li Fan's statement. I'm just being realistic because I'm indeed smarter than the average person. My IQ is 140. I've tested it before. What's yours? How would I know? As long as it's not 250. Li Fan didn't care about this. That, Lin Ying, which subject should we review first? There are still 5 days before the exam. Let's review 2 subjects every day. Lin Ying gave him a bunch of exam papers. We need to do a surprise attack and undergo a devilish training. Then why do we have to do the exam papers? Li Fan had a bitter look. We're a man and a woman alone in a room. Why do we have to do something as boring as writing the exam papers? Otherwise, what else do you want to do, pervert? Lin Yuechisan glared at Li Fan. These are the mock exam papers that I've collected. The questions on them are all typical questions. Moreover, the probability of these questions appearing in the exam is very high. As long as you can answer these questions, I guarantee that your results will be greatly improved. Believe me, I'm an expert in this aspect. After all, Lin Ying often tutored others. Since she was so confident, Li Fan decided to believe in her. All right then, Li Fan had no other choice but to pick up an English exam paper. What does it mean? Looking at the English exam paper, Li Fan only felt like he was looking at an ancient martial arts secret book. This is very simple. I'll teach you some common words first. Memorize them. Then, I'll teach you some common grammar. It's like a formula. You'll naturally understand it after you connect it with the context. This small table was very low. There wasn't even a chair. The two of them were pressed against the table, kneeling and facing each other. Lin Yuechisan was teaching Li Fan. She didn't notice that she was very close to him. Her forehead was almost touching Li Fan's forehead. Li Fan could smell the delicate fragrance of a virgin. It was really easy to disturb a person's mind when it entered his nose. This Lin Ying knew that she was beautiful, but she didn't pay attention to it. 2 little people appeared in Li Fan's mind. One had a little tail, and the other had a little wing. The little person with the little tail pulled Li Fan's ear and urged, "What are you waiting for? Push her down." The little person with the little wing immediately clapped her hands and said, "Oh, fuck, she's still so shameless." Li Fan shook his head, dispelling these messy thoughts. This grammar is applicable here. Do you remember it? Naturally, Lin Ying didn't know about Li Fan's thoughts. She was still very focused during the lesson. Sorry, I didn't listen, Li Fan said honestly. Li Fan, you're the one who needs to make up for the lesson. I've pushed back a few lessons to help you. Why aren't you more serious? Lin Yuechisan was a little angry. Li Fan couldn't think of any other excuse at the moment, so he could only answer honestly. Your body smells so good. I was mesmerized. Chapter 76. Lin Yuechisan's face suddenly turned red as she looked at Li Fan. Li Fan was ready to face the storm, but unexpectedly, Lin Ying took a deep breath and asked in a low voice. That's... What? Do I really have a fragrance on me? Lin Yuechisan unexpectedly asked. Why can't I smell it? Of course. Li Fan turned into Professor Li at this time and said seriously, it's not that you can't smell it, but you've been smelling it for more than 10 years, and your sense of smell has adapted to this smell. As the saying goes, staying in the room of orchids for a long time, one doesn't smell its fragrance. This is the truth. Really? Lin Yuechisan was a little curious. Why didn't I know? Dr. Lin, it's not enough to just study well, you have to learn everything. Li Fan very seriously reminded Lin Ying, as a successor of the 21st century, you can't be partial to a subject. I'm doing this for your own good. Damn you, you know so much about this kind of thing. Lin Ying fiercely rolled her eyes at Li Fan, you don't even put your heart into studying. That's true, I shouldn't criticize Dr. Lin, I'm also a serious partial to a subject. Li Fan lightly hit himself, I have to punish myself, how can I not take the lead? Partial to a subject, your sister. You call that partial to a subject? Hurry up and do the questions. Lin Yuechisan also reached out and gently patted Li Fan's arm, don't waste my time. With that, she also opened a book by Freud, The Analysis of Dreams, and read it with relish. Why are you still reading this book? Isn't this superstition? Li Fan looked up and glanced at the title of the book as he answered the questions. You're just like my bro Huang Lei. He chases after me every day to interpret my dreams, saying that I've been acting like a villain recently. This has nothing to do with superstition. Lin Yihan immediately corrected Li Fan's thoughts. The Analysis of Dreams is a very logical book. It's different from feudal superstitions. That friend of yours must also be unreliable. I have scientific evidence for this. Is that for real? Is he really that amazing? You don't believe me? I'll help you test it. Lin Yihan closed the book and looked at Li Fan seriously. Tell me, what kind of dreams have you had recently? Through your dreams, I can help you analyze your psychology. It's not convenient to say, what's the big deal? I'm the doctor now and you're the patient. Lin Yihan said in a serious manner, don't be shy. Just tell me your dreams. All right, Li Fan clenched his teeth. I've been having an erotic dream recently. Lin Yihan was drinking water, but when she heard this, she immediately spat it out. Then, you continue with the questions. My mum will be back in 2 hours. Lin Yihan picked up the book in a panic. Li Fan curled his lips. I told you not to say it, but you still ask. But what does an erotic dream have to do with acting like a villain? It must be that fellow Huang Lei talking nonsense again. That mouth of his could run a train. Li Fan shook his head and continued with the questions. According to the method that Lin Yuhsin taught him, he felt that he could understand some of the questions that he couldn't understand in the past. As expected of Lin Yuhsin, her method was really reliable. Li Fan felt that there were a lot of blockages in his body, and Lin Yihan had poked through them. This analogy might not be very good, but it should be the general meaning. Li Fan continued with the questions smoothly. Occasionally, he would ask Lin Yuhsin for help when he came across some questions that he couldn't understand. Lin Yuhsin was also very patient. No matter what kind of question it was, she would explain it to Li Fan seriously. Seeing Lin Yuhsin like this, Li Fan was also embarrassed to be distracted. He studied more seriously, and his efficiency was quite high. He was almost done with this set of English papers. Not bad. You're quite smart. Lin Yuhsin looked at Li Fan's questions. Since you're so smart, why are your results so bad? I also don't know. Li Fan shrugged his shoulders. Probably because I wasn't smart enough in the past. He didn't know that after practicing martial arts, his mind had become more flexible. As the saying goes, qi flows through the whole body, and the beer appears. Now that Li Fan had opened up all the qi channels in his body, the blood flow in his body became smoother, and the blood supply to his brain increased. Naturally, it made him a lot smarter. Not to mention other things, Li Fan could remember a lot of the content after it was said or seen once. Although it couldn't be compared to having a photographic memory, it was almost the same. Now that he had a good teacher like Lin Yuhsin to teach him, Li Fan naturally learned quickly. This set of revision plan was tailor-made by Lin Yuhsin for Li Fan. She didn't expect that the results would be so obvious. The first few English papers were still a little difficult for Li Fan to do, and he puffed and puffed. But towards the end, it became smoother and smoother. Although it couldn't be said to be 100% correct, it was a big improvement compared to before. This made Lin Yuhsin look at him in a different light. If that's the case, maybe Li Fan's results this week would really improve. Not bad. Do a set of papers and see how many points you can get. Lin Yuhsin took out a new set of papers and placed it in front of Li Fan. This set of papers is similar to the college entrance exam papers. Try it. Alright, come on. Let's fight for 300 rounds. Fight your sister. Lin Yuhsin urged, hurry up and do it. We don't have much time left. This sounds really evil, Li Fan chuckled and began to do the questions. From Li Fan's point of view, this set of papers was much easier. He felt that he could answer most of the questions. Come on, let's get to work. Li Fan buried his head in answering the questions. Lin Yihan stopped reading and sat beside Li Fan to watch him do the papers. Lin Yuhsin's expression became more and more interesting. This set of papers was based on the college entrance exam. The full score was 150 points. Although Li Fan didn't answer all the questions correctly, he could basically score more than 90 points. This was a huge improvement compared to his usual performance. 90 points was already a pass. There's a saying that if boys study hard, they will improve quickly. Could it be true? Lin Yuezhen was puzzled. Suddenly, there were footsteps coming from outside. Oh no, my mom is back. Lin Yuezhen panicked. The house was only so big. There was nowhere to hide. The window was also a small ventilation window. The area was very small. Only a child could barely squeeze through. An adult like Li Fan couldn't squeeze through. Quickly hide. Where the fuck can I hide? Li Fan didn't know what to do. You can chop me up and hide in the fridge. Hide on the bed. Lin Yuezhen suddenly pointed to the camp bed. Chapter 77. At the moment, there was no other way. Li Fan had to climb onto the bed, lift the quilt, and hide under it. Lin Yuezhen also hurried to catch up, took off her school uniform, and only wore a white t-shirt inside, lying on the bed with the quilt covered. From the outside, Lin Yuezhen looked like she was sitting on the bed reading a book. The camp bed was really too small. In order not to fall, Li Fan could only hug Lin Yuezhen's waist tightly, leaning on her body. Lin Yuezhen could even feel Li Fan's breathing. Although it was very steady, it still made her a little itchy. Not only that, Li Fan's hand touching her waist also made her a little uncomfortable. But now, there was no other way. If she was really discovered, then everything would be terrible. Mom's daily routine was to cook first, then go to the public toilet downstairs. As long as I hold on until Mom finished cooking, then let Li Fan take the opportunity to leave. That's right, hold on, as long as I hold on. However, it wasn't like she and Li Fan didn't get along. Something like this had happened twice. But, Lin Yuezhen, you are a person who believes in science. How can you have superstitious thoughts? There was no way he and Li Fan were incompatible, humph. No, that's not what I mean. I don't believe in such pseudoscience. That's right. The door was opened. Lin Yuezhen's mother was called Yuan Chunli. She was dressed simply, with a trace of a busy atmosphere. Mom, you are back. Lin Yuezhen's voice was slightly trembling, and Yuan Chunli looked at her daughter. You rarely take the initiative to greet me. What's wrong today? No, nothing. I just miss Mom. Lin Yuezhen tried her best to calm down. But Li Fan, don't move your hands. You must be hungry. Business isn't too good tonight, so I came back early. You can continue reading. I'll help you prepare the meal. After tidying up, Yuan Chunli walked to a small cabinet and used the induction cooker to cook noodles for Lin Yuezhen. I heard that there will be another relocation in the next 2 days. Yuan Chunli was preparing dinner while talking to Lin Yuezhen. I wonder if you can increase the price this time. I hope so. I also want to live in a bigger house with Mom. Lin Yuezhen pressed Li Fan's hand against her thigh. This fellow, if he continued to touch her, he would be crossing the line. But Li Fan actually didn't want to touch her. He was just out of breath and wanted Lin Yuezhen to open the blanket a little. But Lin Yuezhen covered the blanket tightly like a tortoise stew, airtight. If this continued, he would probably suffocate to death. Li Fan's brain was lacking oxygen, and it was very uncomfortable. He had no other way, and he didn't dare to move too much. His hand was pressed, so he could only open his mouth and use his teeth to lightly bite Lin Yuezhen's thigh. Lin Yuezhen suddenly exclaimed, and Yuan Chunli hurriedly looked over. What's wrong, Moon Immortal? Are you not feeling well? I just think that no matter how big the house is, as long as I can live with Mom, I'll be satisfied, Lin Yuezhen hurriedly said, but it was from the bottom of her heart. Sighed. If only your dad didn't have that illness. Yuan Chunli sighed, what a sin. The little money we have at home, and we used it to treat him, and it still didn't cure him. He must have done something evil in his past life, that's why he's like this now. Not only did he do it himself, but he also dragged our daughter into it. No, I still have to go to the temple and ask a master to enlighten us. Mom, that's just superstition. Don't believe it. Lin Yuezhen used one hand to press down on Li Fan's head to stop him from biting. At the same time, she said in a panic, I will definitely get into the best medical college and university, and then cure Dad's illness. It must have been hard on you, Yuan Chunli said as she prepared food, but I heard that being a psychiatrist is quite profitable, and they charge by the minute. It's a very promising career. I didn't become a psychiatrist for money. You're still young, so you don't know how important money is. In short, becoming a psychiatrist will give you the opportunity to get in touch with people from the upper class. When the time comes, find a rich man, and then marry him. I've already thought about it. My son-in-law must have the qualifications. Even if he doesn't drive a Land Rover, he must live in a 3-story bungalow. What are you talking about? Isn't this selling my daughter? Mom is old, and her ideas may be a bit outdated, but it's for your own good. This is all from my experience. Yuan Chunli finally finished preparing the noodles, and she placed it on the table that Lin Yingyan used for studying. Don't run around with those poor guys. Except for their mouths full of sweet nothings, they can't give you anything else. With that, Yuan Chunli went out to the toilet. Lin Yingyan heaved a sigh of relief, and then lifted the quilt. Hey, hurry up, my mom is out. But Li Fan didn't move, and when Lin Yuichen looked down, he had already fainted. Li Fan, what's wrong with you? Lin Yingyan was shocked. Li Fan was still alive and kicking. What's wrong with him? Oh no. Could it be that he was suffocated by me? Oh my God, what should I do? Li Fan, you can't die. Various thoughts flashed through Lin Yingyan's mind. That's right, see. She had no other way, and could only try CPR on Li Fan. Now wasn't the time to be shy, and Lin Yuichen recalled the CPR method. She laid Li Fan flat, then gently opened his mouth, and slowly moved her little mouth forward. This is seated, not kissing. Lin Yingyan, don't have any thoughts that you shouldn't have, to save a life. At this time, I can't hesitate. Saving a life is more important. Lin Yingyan finally touched Li Fan's mouth, and she transferred her breath into Li Fan's mouth. Then she raised her head and pressed a few times on Li Fan's chest, and the camp bed started to shake. Lin Yingyan blushed, and once again lowered her head to transfer air to Li Fan, repeating this a few times. As a martial artist, Li Fan was very thirsty for oxygen, and with a few mouthfuls of oxygen entering his mouth, his strong cardiopulmonary function was activated once again. His brain also woke up, but when he felt Lin Yuicheng's soft lips, Li Fan couldn't bear to tell her that he was already awake. At this time, the room door suddenly opened, and Yuan Chunli looked at her daughter who was kissing Li Fan's mouth in surprise. Lin Yingyan was also stunned. Oh no? This is really the end. Now, how can I explain it? Could it be that, Mom, there's nothing between us, and I'm just giving him CPR on the bed? Chapter 78. At this moment, Li Fan suddenly raised his hand and snapped his fingers. The spirit monkey escaped. When Yuan Chunli's gaze fell on his fingers, Li Fan's figure suddenly disappeared like a bubble. Yuan Chunli stretched out her hand and rubbed her eyes. Her daughter sat on the bed alone and looked at her in surprise. Looks like I'm really getting old, Yuan Chunli sighed softly. I'm starting to have presbyopia. Mom, what are you talking about? You're not old. You're still young and beautiful. Lin Yuichen was also very surprised. How could Li Fan disappear in the blink of an eye? It was really surprising. This man, could it be that he knew some kind of magic? Hurry up and come down to eat. The noodles are going to get cold. Yuan Chunli thought that she was seeing things just now. Lin Yuichen also went down the stairs. The mother and daughter began to enjoy their simple dinner. At this moment, Li Fan had already flipped over and landed on the roof of the tube-shaped apartment. Fortunately, he had the spirit monkey to escape with the ape strike. Otherwise, he would have been caught and exposed. Even if nothing happened, something would have happened. However, he did not expect Lin Yuichen's mother to be so materialistic. Perhaps it had something to do with their family background. After all, Lin Yuichen's family was not very good. Listening to the conversation between the mother and daughter, Li Fan could roughly guess that the reason Lin Yuichen was so desperate to learn psychology was to treat her father who was mentally ill. Her father was probably locked up in some mental hospital. It was a lot of money. No wonder her mother had to get up early and return late to sell pancakes. Look at her mother. How responsible she was. Then look at her unreliable parents. They just went out to play and sold their son just like that. Li Fan secretly clenched his fists on the roof. His face was full of tears. Just when Li Fan was secretly depressed, a figure suddenly jumped up from the tube-shaped apartment. This figure was a little familiar and spoke with a Hunan accent. "Oh my God, I finally found you." Li Fan took a look under the moonlight. This guy was none other than one of Murong Ying's suitors, Liao Bing. At this time, Liao Bing was still the same as before. He was wearing a familiar coat, and his hands were huge with calluses on his palms. Li Fan did not know why, but he felt a threatening aura from the other party's palm. "You son of a bitch, if I don't kill you this time, my surname isn't Liao." Liao Bing said angrily, "I have mastered the taboo of the thunderclap palm, the 5 thunder bombardment." "What's that?" Li Fan did not understand these things. Without Murong Ying's explanation, he was illiterate. In short, it's a very powerful kung fu. Liao Bing was flustered and exasperated. There was nothing he could do about a newbie in martial arts. The 5 thunderclap bombardment harms both the user and the opponent. It is a forbidden external martial art in the thunderclap palm. He could only explain a little. "Back then, my ancestor used this palm to defeat the invincible in the world. He became the strongest existence in the martial arts world. Later, all the major sects joined forces and defeated my ancestor with a wheel battle. But the damage of this move is too great. My ancestor did not live to 30 years old." "Fuck, you are too desperate. Are you willing to live to 30 years old just to beat me?" Li Fan was very surprised. "But, in your dreams, I still want to be with Murong Ying." Liao Bing said hatefully, "This 5 thunderclap bombardment is divided into 3 stages. I have only mastered the first stage, but it still has the power of thunder. It is enough to kill you." "Sigh, young man, why don't you listen to my advice?" Li Fan spread out his hands. "I have already said that it is not me who is pestering Murong Ying, but Murong Ying who is pestering me. It is useless to look for me. Why don't you look for Murong Ying and have a fight with her? If you win, you can let her go with you." "Humph, don't give me that." Liao Bing's face turned red. "I can't beat her, but I can beat you. Your 5 animal frolics is useless against me. Remember." Li Fan spread out his hands. "My kung fu is called 5 animals combined attack. I don't care what it is. It is the same as fitness. I will also teach you what a martial artist is. The so-called martial fighters don't practice martial arts, but killing techniques." Liao Bing lifted his leg and kicked the roof of the tube-shaped apartment. The tube-shaped apartment was not sturdy to begin with. With a kick, the red bricks on the roof of the apartment were immediately sent flying, and some of them went straight for Li Fan. Crane strike. Crane flapping wings. Li Fan placed one hand in front of him like a gate, or like a crane flapping its wings. His palm was wrapped with qi, and all the bricks in front of him were knocked away. His movements were clean and neat, as if it was natural. Liao Bing was slightly surprised. Different from the last fight, Li Fan's movements seemed to be more refined. At this time, Li Fan did not look like a martial artist who had just entered the profession. Instead, he looked like a veteran who had practiced for many years. "I don't believe it. I have practiced martial arts for 15 years. How could I be weaker than a rookie like you?" Liao Bing followed the bricks and dashed to the front of Li Fan. At the same time, he slapped his palm toward Li Fan's face. 5 thunder bombardment. At this moment, true qi flowed on Liao Fan's palm, turning it red as if it was burning. The threatening feeling came from this palm. It seemed to be a consummate skill. If this palm fell on his face, even with the protection of true qi, he would have to stay in the hospital for half a month. A thought flashed through Li Fan's mind. "I can't take this palm head-on." 5 animals combined attack. The 6th stance. Snake strike. Li Fan's kung fu did not stop at these 5 animals. On the contrary, he was actively creating new martial arts skills. The snake was a very strange animal. They had 2 ways to deal with their prey. One was to use their poisonous fangs to inflict a fatal wound. The other was to use their bodies to strangle their prey. Liao Bing's thunderbolt palm was right in front of him, as if it could turn Li Fan into a fool in the next second. But Li Fan's right hand had already wrapped around Liao Bing's palm, as if it was really like a poisonous snake, entangling Liao Bing's left hand. Liao Bing's left hand could not move forward a millimeter, as if it was caught by an iron clamp. What's going on? Liao Bing was shocked. Li Fan's right hand formed the shape of a snake and aimed at Liao Bing. Snake strike, spiritual snake entanglement. His palm was like the head of a poisonous snake. It spat out its tongue and opened its mouth to bite Liao Bing's throat. Bam! Liao Bing's throat was blocked. His legs went soft and he fell to his knees in front of Li Fan. My God! How did you become so strong? Liao Bing finally fell to the ground. Before he fainted, he only had time to say 2 sentences. I surrender. Chapter 79. The strongest high school student? In a dark room, a man with a feminine voice is hiding behind the curtain. Yu Shi, the brocade uniform guard who once attacked Li Fan, kneels outside the curtain without saying a word. You're just a martial artist who has reached the pinnacle of perfection. Why do you have to come out personally? You and the other 3 are all disciples that I have personally taught. Your strength can't be wasted on such childish things. By the way, didn't Li Wenjue just get promoted to Baihu? Let him go. Yu Shi nods, her figure turns into a black light, then the curtain is lifted, and she disappears from the room. Sigh, it's really hard to manage the pugilistic world now. The feminine man sighs, then there's no more sound in the room, as if there's no one there at all. For the past 2 days, Li Fan has had a rare moment of peace, as if it's the calm before the storm. Hua Dehong is still hospitalized. It's said that he's still in the intensive care unit, probably enjoying the care of a young nurse. Although Chang Chuanxi's attitude towards him is still not very good, he doesn't make things difficult for him. There's also no movement from the principal's side, as if Li Fan didn't hit his son. But Li Fan knows that this matter can't be resolved so peacefully. They're definitely brewing some conspiracy, waiting for him to take the bait. Is there a need to guess? They're waiting for this exam. Bai Lin Luo pushes his glasses. While doing the paper in his hand, he says, as long as you fail 5 subjects, I'm afraid you'll be expelled. Although other students often fail 5 subjects, this time it's targeted at you, and the school has a clear rule. It doesn't matter. I'll deal with it when it comes. Li Fan laughed out loud. Isn't it just a test? Who's afraid of who's a coward? But your grades aren't that good. Bai Lin Luo looks at Li Fan worriedly. I remember that you usually only pass history. The rest of the subjects are all red. It's different this time. I've been reborn. Li Fan chuckled. Ever since they were discovered at Lin Yuegen's house, the 2 of them no longer tutored each other at her house. Instead, they switched to the old library. Although this place was a little remote, it was relatively quiet and no one would disturb him. The only thing he had to worry about was that the school workers would come to check. Fortunately, Lin Yuesen's identity as the top student in the school was very useful. Whenever the school staff came to check on him, all Li Fan had to do was to hide. When the school staff saw Lin Yunyun, they would think that she was revising her lessons. They would only remind her to take care of her health and mumble that it would be great if their children could be so hardworking. After that, they would leave. They had agreed to be a couple for a week, and the time was almost up. I don't know what it will be like after a week. Li Fan didn't know how the treatment of his so-called illness was, but his performance had improved significantly. Now that he was doing the papers, he could already understand more than half of the questions. In order to deal with this exam, not only did Li Fan practice martial arts every day after he returned home, he would also do questions and the like. As a man, how could he let a scumbag like Chang Chuanxi look down on him? He wanted to tell Chang Chuanxi that even if he was a poor student, as long as he was given a chance and studied hard, he could still surpass a good student. Every student had their own value. It was wrong to treat them differently. At this moment, Chang Chuanxi walked in with a large pile of papers and said, "This afternoon is a holiday. Tomorrow, there will be a mock exam. Everyone, remember to do your homework." So many papers. Are they all homework? The students all had long faces. It was not easy for them to have a holiday, but before they had the time to be excited, there was already so much homework on their heads. This is only a part of it. Chang Chuanxi patted the large pile of papers. Later, each class representative, please come to my office and report the rest of the homework. After this mock exam, it will be a holiday. The rest of the homework will be your holiday homework. Oh yeah, the holiday is coming. Finally, we can go out and play. The students were excited. Chang Chuanxi continued, it will be the provincial joint exam soon. In order to let you get good results in this exam, during the holiday, you will have to go to school for supplementary lessons every day. The lessons will be in the morning, the same as the usual lessons. You can have the afternoon off, but remember to pay 200 yuan for the supplementary lessons. Li Fan raised his hand high. Teacher Chang, didn't the school ask us to reduce the burden? Why do we have to take supplementary lessons? Why do we have to pay the supplementary lessons? If you don't want to come, you can choose not to. The school won't force you. Chang Chuanxi sneered and looked at Li Fan, but this is not a problem for you. After all, after this mock exam, you will be kicked out. All the poor students have no value in learning in school. The existence of some people will only drag the students down and smear the reputation of our school. Teacher Chang, who are you talking about? Li Fan pretended not to understand. Isn't it better to say it clearly? As a teacher, how can you point at the mulberry tree and scold the locust tree? This is not a good example, right? I'm only talking about some useless people. Chang Chuanxi knew that if he continued to pester him, there would be no result. Li Fan was obviously a troublemaker. There was no need to bicker with him. Anyway, after the mock exam, he will be expelled. Chang Chuanxi thought so, but Li Fan might not be able to do as he wished. Come with me to the billiard hall in the afternoon. Chapter 80. When Li Fan enters the billiard hall, he immediately sees a huge Guan Yu. He was stunned. What the fuck? What's going on? This Guan Yu is at least 2 meters tall. He is holding a huge crescent moon sword in his hand and is glaring at him. If not for the fact that this guy is a plastic sculpture, Li Fan would have kicked him. Lei, what is this situation? Li Fan shouts while Bai Lin Luo is curiously looking around. As a good student, this is the first time he comes to this kind of place. His heart is filled with novelty. At this time, Huang Lei is sitting behind the table and counting the money. It is all dollar by dollar. He does not know how much he has earned. These 2 days, the billiard hall has started to hold a league tournament. There are many people signing up. Li Fan does not care about the accounting problem. He leaves it to Huang Lei to handle. Big brother, you are here. Huang Lei stuffed a handful of banknotes into the drawer and locked it. Then he looked at Li Fan with a bitter expression. And, let me introduce. This is Bai Lin Luo. His nickname is 4 Eyes. He will be our partner in the future. Big brother, don't tease me. We are doing a world-shaking business. Can you find a student to help? Huang Lei has a look of distrust. Li Fan glares at him. With you around, it is already unreliable. Little 4 Eyes is very smart and can help me come up with more ideas. What's there to be afraid of? Big brother, I also have a belly full of ideas. I, Huang Banxian, also have a nickname called Ideas Company. Forget it. Li Fan almost collapsed. Why don't you say that you are Wu Yong, the resourceful star? With your belly full of lousy ideas, I dare not use any of them. Big brother, you are making me sad. Huang Lei put on a long face. I've been serving you with all my heart for the rest of my life. I, Huang Banxian, don't even want my fortune-telling stall anymore. I want to follow Big Brother to conquer the world. For Big Brother to say such things about me, my heart is going to break. Scram. Hurry up and tell me what happened. Li Fan asked. Big brother, although our business is good, I've only realized in the past 2 days that we're in a terrible mess. Huang Lei was very depressed. If I had known that this was a mess, I wouldn't have urged you to buy this place. What's wrong? Tell me about it. Do you want me to die of anxiety if you don't tell me? Li Fan continued to ask. Only then did Huang Lei reply. Big brother, I really didn't expect this to be Fu Fan's territory. Huang Lei had a bitter look on his face. That Fu Fan is quite a famous elder brother. But he's been keeping a low profile for the past 2 years, so I thought he wasn't here anymore. I didn't expect that his underlings would come to the billiard hall to collect protection fees today. Then give it to him. Li Fan understood this. As long as they didn't cause trouble, it didn't matter if they gave some protection fees every month. Doing business was about making money amicably. There was no need to make things so stiff. Yes, I gave it to him. We agreed on 500 a month. Huang Lei stretched out 5 fingers. I gave it to him. I, Huang Lei, will still abide by this rule. But I didn't expect that after I gave it to him, Hu Yang's men came again. Hu Yang? Which big shot is he? This guy is not to be trifled with, Huang Lei laughed bitterly. This kid used to be one of Fu Fan's underlings. He's also called Hu Ergu. Later on, he made a fortune and did quite well. Now he's competing with Fu Fan for the position of Big Brother. The two of them are fighting fiercely. In the end, we've suffered. What does their fight have to do with us? Li Fan couldn't help but ask. Everyone has to do something. Huang Lei pointed at the empty money box. When this Hu Ergu's men came, they asked for 1,000. They're all local tyrants. I can't afford to offend either of them. So I gave him 1,000. But when I thought about it, Big Brother, I've really done something wrong this time. Oh? What did you do wrong? I gave too much money. Bai Lin Luo pushed his glasses. If I gave Hu Ergu's men 1,000, Fu Fan's men would naturally be unhappy. Although we're all big brothers now, Hu Ergu used to be Fu Fan's underling. If an underling gets more money than the big brother will definitely be unhappy. When he said that, Li Fan understood. Little brother, you have a good train of thought. Huang Lei sized up Bai Lin Luo. Not bad. There's development. Follow your brother Lei well in the future. Brother Lei, please take care of me in the future. Bai Lin Luo was very polite, but Li Fan slapped Huang Lei's head. Don't call me that. In the future, call me military advisor. Damn. So formal. Huang Lei paused for a moment. Wouldn't it be too cool? I want it to be cool. Li Fan laughed. We're already vulgar enough. I want to make little Four Eyes into a military advisor like Mei Changsu. I guarantee that women will like him. Big brother, I'm going to refute you. Huang Lei laughed. A man's cool is not about style. I don't have any cool, but I'm still liked by women. Just like that woman last night. I used my 9 secret words incantation to subdue her and make her docile. 9 words mantra? What 9 words mantra? Li Fan and Bai Lin Luo looked at each other. They didn't know what messy thoughts were going through Huang Lei's mind. This is a man's 9 words mantra. Big brother, you must remember it. Huang Lei was a little excited. These 9 words are, big or not, feel good. Call me daddy. Pooh. Bai Lin Luo vomited a mouthful of blood. Obviously, this was the first time he saw Huang Lei being so indecent. Li Fan was fine. It's just that he had a bad headache and was holding his temple. Alright. Lei, I'm convinced. Bai Lin Luo was speechless. Is this place really reliable? Also, what the hell is this Guan Yu? Even if you want to make a statue, you don't need to make it so big. This is the only way to suppress the evil qi here. Huang Lei said hurriedly. This place is really weird. You see, we've only opened for a few days, and we've already encountered such a fucking thing. I don't think the Guan Yu is big enough. We need a bigger one later. You go find a cesspool and make a 3-story Guan Yu with feces. I guarantee that no one will dare to offend you within a radius of 10 miles. Li Fan sneered angrily. Big brother, this is awesome. Why didn't I think of it? Huang Lei thought carefully. What should be used to stabilize such a big feces statue? Damn, I'm just saying. Li Fan almost collapsed. If you really dare to do it, I'll pour the Guan Yu made of feces down your throat. Ah, big brother, don't say that. Come on, let's play a few rounds. My billiard skills have improved recently. Looking at the 2 people playing billiards, Bai Lin Luo wiped his cold sweat. When he was muttering whether he should regret it, the door of the billiards hall was suddenly kicked open, and several punks rushed in. Chapter 81. Ah, isn't this Brother Arai? Huang Lei's face immediately filled with smiles. Brother Arai, why did you come to my small place twice today? Thank you for coming. Little Sue. Why are you here too? Fuck off, you're too shameless. The man who came in had dark skin, a bald head, and in his arms was a 30-year-old woman who was still attractive. Seeing Huang Lei staring at the woman and calling her Little Sue, Arai immediately scolded, "You even dare to flirt with this father's woman, you don't want to live anymore." Arai. Don't be like this. After all, the two of us were in love. Give me some face, don't look for trouble with him. That woman actually opened her mouth and said, but Arai seemed to care about this woman. Being said like this, he was not angry, but instead coaxed her, "Wife, don't be angry, this is two different things." Arai said, "Your matter is your matter, I'm not angry, it's all in the past. But today, we're talking about another matter, wife, don't get involved." "But you obviously came with emotions." The woman sighed and said, "Since we've met, why don't we talk about it? Brother Stone, if you have anything to say, just say it. After we deal with our matter, we'll deal with the two of you." "Actually, I haven't figured it out yet." Brother Stone was obviously referring to Huang Lei. He looked at the woman with some nostalgia in his eyes. Li Fan was a bit curious. Huang Lei, this kind of indecent man, would be moved by a woman? "Little Sue, why did you leave me in the beginning? Didn't we say that we would be together forever?" "Brother Stone, I admit, when you were young, you were handsome, talented, and had a big dick." The woman said very bluntly, making Arai's face turn green, "So I really loved you at that time. What about now, my dear? Now, you're only left with the size of a dick." The woman was very sad. "Brother Stone, our matter ends here. I only have Blackett 2 in my heart now. You should forget about me as soon as possible." As for Li Fan and Bai Lin Luo, they almost vomited blood. What the hell? What the hell is going on? "Wife, are you done? Go sit on the side for a while. It's time to talk about the things between us men." He attached great importance to this woman. Even if his face was green, he still coaxed his woman. "Okay, be careful not to get hurt." This charming woman was like a source of calamity. She crossed her legs and gently sat on a small sofa at the side. She smiled at Bai Lin Luo, and Bai Lin Luo's legs immediately turned to jelly. He was just a naive young man. He had never seen such a powerful woman before. With this one move, he was at a slight disadvantage. Seeing Bai Lin Luo's reaction, the woman seemed to be a little proud. She looked at Li Fan again and licked her lips. Unexpectedly, Li Fan was indifferent. After all, Li Fan had a superb beauty like Murong Ing in his home. The psychological blow was greater than the physical blow. But for Li Fan, this trick had no effect. He gently moved his head to the side, avoiding the punk's slap. At the same time, his right hand moved forward and directly grabbed that punk's throat. Strike. Li Fan closed his palm. That huge grip almost broke the punk's throat. To deal with these ignorant punks, Li Fan must be ruthless. He raised an arm and lifted the 1.7-meter tall hooligan above his head. No matter how the hooligan struggled and kicked, he didn't let go. "I don't know what you hoodlums are up to. But if it affects my survival, then even a rabbit will bite." With that, Li Fan pressed his palm to the side. Bang! This punk's head smashed through the wall, and his whole body was embedded in the wall, hanging on it. When an expert makes a move, it's easy to tell. Li Fan neatly took care of the hooligan, which made the other people's eyeballs almost fly out. This student? Who the hell is he? Chapter 82. This is my, Huang Lei's, big brother. Huang Lei immediately proudly said, "The strongest high school student, Li Fan." "Fuck your mother. Stop bragging. I'm still the strongest emperor." A bully obviously didn't believe in Li Fan's fighting strength. He suddenly pulled out a watermelon knife from his chest and chopped down at Li Fan's head. These bullies were very young and didn't know how to control their strength. In addition, this bully obviously wanted to make a contribution in front of He, so this knife went straight for Li Fan's head without any hesitation. But who was Li Fan? How could he be cut by such a childish knife technique? He leaned forward and hit the bully's lower abdomen with his elbow. This bully immediately spat out a mouthful of acid. Li Fan's left hand caught the falling watermelon knife. The blade flashed and cleanly pressed on Erhei's neck. Erhei only saw a blur in front of him, followed by a cold feeling on his neck. The cold air on the blade had already seeped into his skin. But Erhei didn't believe that a student would dare to kill someone. Chop. If you have the ability, then chop. Erhei sneered. I admit that you know some kung fu, but do you have the courage to be a big brother? Don't joke with me, quickly go back to class, little brat. Before he finished his words, Li Fan's knife moved. His knife swiped and Erhei felt a chill on his arm. Then, in his eyes, a broken hand flew out in the air and fell to the side with blood. Whose hand is this? Why does my arm hurt so much? Erhei looked down and found that his wrist was bleeding. That familiar hand had disappeared. My hand. Erhei's vision turned black. The intense blood loss made him scream again and again. Li Fan's finger poked his shoulder twice, and his blood loss immediately stopped. But the broken hand could not come back. This knife is to teach you a lesson. Li Fan spoke casually, as if he had just chopped off the arm of a toy. The next time you talk to me like that, I'll chop off your head. Huang Lei was a little stunned. He didn't expect his elder brother to be so decisive. Although he had made up his mind to follow Li Fan, he had always been worried about how his big brother, a student, would be able to adapt to the bloody life of a hooligan. But now, his big brother had undoubtedly convinced him. Chopping off a hand is considered intentional bodily harm. Bai Lin Luo muttered to himself. Fortunately, no one else saw it except for these people. Li Fan was wearing a pair of black billiard gloves, so he didn't leave any fingerprints. The knife was brought by a hooligan, and only the owner's fingerprints were on it. Moreover, they were all hooligans, so the police could suspect that their testimony was false. But Li Fan is just a high school student. If I find some people and make a unified statement, saying that it was a fight between a few hooligans who chopped themselves like this, and then deliberately blackmail Li Fan for money, it should work. The success rate, 85%. If Li Fan and I act more realistically, it should be 90%. If we hire a better lawyer, it should be 95% success rate. Huang Lei's cold sweat dripped down. Bai Lin Luo's muttering undoubtedly scared him. This high school student, seeing such a bloody scene, he wasn't afraid at all. Instead, he was calculating how to let his big brother escape. He suddenly understood why his big brother wanted to find this little Four Eyes to be his strategist. In just a short moment, when everyone was still shocked by Li Fan chopping people, he had already thought so far ahead. Did you hear that? Li Fan squatted down and gently placed the knife in front of Erhei. Even if I chopped you today, it would be in vain. I put the knife in front of you. If you have the guts, you can chop me back. I was wrong. Erhei was not stupid. He was able to get to where he was today, and he was also Fu Fan's trusted aide, which proved that he was a smart person. Brother Fan, I was blind. Thank you for sparing my life. You're welcome. Li Fan stretched out his hand and patted his face. This hand, just take it as a lesson you've learned. Tell Fu Fan, this billiard hall is my turf. We should mind our own business. If he annoys me, I don't mind talking to him. He is a big brother. I'm just a student. I don't have a family or a job. He can't afford to risk his life. I will pass it on. Erhei nodded. Then Brother Fan? Sorry for disturbing, we'll leave now. Go, don't let me see you again. Li Fan waved his hand. Erhei immediately led his group and ran away. Looking at their fleeing figures, Huang Lei suddenly felt that from today onwards, another life for Li Fan had officially begun. Phew. This group of people finally left. Li Fan suddenly breathed a sigh of relief, and then sat on the chair next to him. How was it, did I act like a big brother just now? Fuck, big brother, was that all you're acting just now? Huang Lei was shocked. Not really. Anyway, I learned it from watching some movies and TV series. Li Fan also became serious and very seriously said, Lei, Four Eyes, from today onwards, we're all grasshoppers on the same rope. We're all in this together, we're all in this together. And these people, if I'm not ruthless, they'll ride on top of our heads and shit. Big Brother is right. I'm determined to follow Big Brother for the rest of my life. Huang Lei immediately said, Big Brother is in charge of building a career. I'm in charge of being lawless. Don't be ridiculous, I don't want to be in the underworld. Li Fan laughed. The underworld is still the third rate, but money comes fast. I just want to make use of this as a platform for us brothers to do something big. But what if Fu Fan retaliates? Huang Lei couldn't help but mutter, this Big Brother still has some connections. If he finds trouble with us, things won't be easy to handle. Don't worry, he won't find trouble with us. Bai Lin Luo laughed and pushed his glasses. I guess, tonight or tomorrow night, he will come to us. Not to find trouble, but to rope us in. Really? Huang Lei was stunned as he listened. He felt that his brain was not enough to process the information. If I were Fu Fan, I'll definitely bring more than 100 brothers and directly destroy this place. So, with your brain, you can't be the Big Brother. Bai Lin Luo smiled. It doesn't matter, as long as I can be Big Brother's henchman. Huang Lei was very satisfied. Then, Big Brother, what do we do next? Clean up this place. If Four Eyes is right, Fu Fan should come. Li Fan picked up a billiard cue. Continue to play billiards, do business, and see if Fu Fan will appear. Deal. Although Huang Lei readily agreed, he muttered in his heart, Fu Fan is a real Big Brother. Will he come to see Li Fan? Chapter 83. Is this the place? A middle-aged man in a Chinese tunic suit came down from a Land Rover. He glanced at the ordinary billiard hall in front of him and couldn't help but frown. This is Big Brother. He, with a bandage on one hand, stood in front of Fu Fan and said with his head down, He, I told you to go to the hospital. The injury is so serious, what if there are some sequelae? Fu Fan sighed softly, you kids really don't let me save my time. I've caused trouble for Big Brother. He's face was full of shame. How's your hand? The doctor said it can be reconnected. But I don't plan to do it. He's eyes flashed a trace of haze. I have to remind myself that I can't be too arrogant. All right. Fu Fan patted him on the shoulder. Although you've lost a hand this time, you've saved your life in the future. This hand is worth it. Thank you, Big Brother, for your teachings. Well, let me see what kind of person this Li Fan is. As his voice fell, 4 professional thugs immediately came down from a black Toyota next to him. Each of them looked fierce and directly rushed into the billiard hall. Our Big Brother has something to do. One of the thugs took out a dagger and nailed it on a billiard table. At this time, Li Fan was teaching Bai Lin Luo how to play billiard. Seeing this scene, he couldn't help but frown. When several big men came in, the students who were playing billiard were scared away one by one. Soon, only Li Fan and Fu Fan's people were left in the billiard hall. Big Brother. It should be Fu Fan. Huang Lei whispered in Li Fan's ear, these 4 people are his professional thugs, nicknamed the 4 King Kong. What? Li Fan nodded and put down the billiard stick, prepare to receive the guests. This word is not very good. Bai Lin Luo couldn't help but ask. That's true. That's not the point. As Li Fan was speaking, a middle-aged man in a Chinese tunic suit walked in. Fu Fan frowned when he saw the dagger on the billiard table. Xiao Dong, did you do it? Yes. The hatchet man immediately lowered his head. Come, you know my rules. Fu Fan hooked his finger, and Xiao Dong's body shook. But without any hesitation, he walked forward and placed his hand on the table. Fu Fan pulled out a dagger and stabbed it into Xiao Dong's hand. Xiao Dong gritted his teeth and did not say a word. This is a man. Brotherly, my subordinate doesn't know how to do things. I'll punish him for you. I hope you can forgive me. Big Brother Fu Fan, good move. Li Fan gently clapped his hands. You really scared me. Little brother, what you're saying is pointless. 2 lackeys had already carried a chair over and placed it behind Fu Fan, letting him sit on it. Brother, I've heard your name from Su Chen. I also know that you may not like to follow the rules of our underworld. I can understand that because the younger you are, the more you like to destroy. But the older you get, the more you like to follow the rules. Isn't that because the rules are set by you? Li Fan curled his lips. You can say that. But it's not just me, but thousands of people like me who set the rules. Fu Fan said, the rules are set so that this business will not collapse and can be passed down from generation to generation. It may sound incredible, but people like us have rules that cannot be violated. Of course I won't follow the rules of your business. Li Fan said, because I don't intend to join your business. Your rules have nothing to do with me. I understand. Brother, don't be anxious. Listen to me. Fu Fan was not impatient. His temper was obviously more stable than Su Chen's, and his mind was also deeper than Su Chen's. This time, I'm not here to fight. I'm old and I don't like to fight. Then, Brother Fu Fan, why did you come to my small place? These big brothers were all very cunning. Li Fan did not want to be schemed against by them. Fortunately, Bai Lin Luo had helped him speculate his purpose, so Li Fan was very calm. Brother, in our business, there are always some young people who don't know the rules. Fu Fan said unhurriedly, these people don't even have the basic respect for Big Brother. Leaving them alive is also a kind of disaster. What do you mean? Just say it. Li Fan was not stupid. He could hear the mystery in it. Fu Fan waved his hand. The few people behind him left the billiard hall, leaving only Xiao Dong standing behind him. There are some things that we, the big brothers who abide by the rules, can't come forward. Fu Fan lowered his voice and said, I hope you can do me a favor and teach those unruly children a lesson for me. What's in it for me? Li Fan was also very direct. To do dirty work. Naturally, there must be a high price tag. Fu Fan's fingers gently fiddled with the number 8 billiard ball. Every time I look for you, I will give you a suitable price tag. Of course, this time is no exception. Why don't you tell us what you want us to do this time? Li Fan suddenly became interested. If it's too difficult, we may not be able to take it. Rest assured, since I look for you, I believe in your strength. Fu Fan said, this task is also very simple. Do you know who Ergu? Coincidentally, I do. Li Fan said. Sure enough, it was within Bai Lin Luo's expectation. Bai Lin Luo sat at the side, pushed the glasses on the bridge of his nose, and seemed to be somewhat proud of himself. The day after tomorrow at 12 p.m., Hu Ergu will be at the Songjiang Pier to make a deal with the Vietnamese. Fu Fan's voice was low, but very clear. That batch of goods, help me bring it over. I want it. He stretched out 5 fingers. The price, this amount, 5 million? Li Fan opened his lion's mouth. Riches and honor come from danger. He needed such an opportunity. Fu Fan laughed. Old brother, you really know how to joke. This batch of goods is indeed worth this price, but that is in my hands. In your hands, it is a hot potato. He paused for a moment. 500,000 is for your labor service this time. After all, this is our first cooperation. I hope to see your sincerity. Li Fan looked around, Huang Lei shook his head, and Bai Lin Luo was in deep thought. Fine, we'll take this batch. Just as Li Fan finished his words, he suddenly snapped his fingers. Before Fu Fan could see clearly, Li Fan was already sitting on the billiard table in front of him, holding the black number 8 ball that Fu Fan was playing with earlier. But Big Brother Fu Fan must remember, I like cooperation, not betrayal. If you have the ability to betray me, I also have the ability to kill you. Chapter 84. When Fu Fan returned to his room, Xiao Dong, who was sitting beside him, seemed to want to say something. You want to ask me why I'm using a person like Li Fan to do things, right? Fu Fan guessed what his confidant was thinking and smiled. Yeah, Xiao Dong nodded his head. This kind of thing, as long as Big Brother says it, me and a few brothers will do it for you. This kind of thing, it is not convenient for us to do it. Fu Fan leaned on the back of the chair and closed his eyes. But Li Fan, this kind of person? He is a knife. Using him to kill people is just right. Then Big Brother. Aren't you afraid that this knife will hurt you? For Li Fan, this kind of person, as long as you do not infringe on his interest, he will not hurt you. Fu Fan leaned there. His temperament was like that of a harmless old Buddha. Moreover, this is the first time I've met Li Fan, and it's also the last time we'll meet. In the future, our communication will depend on you. Big brother, rest assured, I will be at your beck and call. But, you think too highly of this Li Fan. I think he is not worthy of your trust. Xiao Dong, you are young, capable, and also have drive. But what you lack is experience and knowledge. Fu Fan smiled and said, people like Li Fan, this kind of person is called a martial arts expert. We ordinary people naturally have no way to deal with them. But there is an organization called Genie Wei. When he makes a big mess, this organization will naturally come to deal with him. I understand. Xiao Dong's eyes lit up. Big brother really has a good plan. The road is still long, look further. After Fu Fan said the sentence, he seemed to fall asleep, no longer said anything, only a regular snoring sound. Xiao Dong also did not disturb him, he seemed to be digesting what he had learned tonight. At this time, Li Fan, Bai Lin Luo, and Huang Lei were sitting in the billiard hall, recalling what happened tonight. This time, Fu Fan came to find them. His intention was very obvious, to rope them in. No, this is not rope in, this is use. Li Fan sat there and stretched his body. He wants to use me as a knife to do what he can't do. That's right, but that's exactly what we want. Bai Lin Luo looked weak, but he was excited. Li Fan, it's time for us to show our skills. We need Fu Fan's information, and we don't have to worry about him betraying us. This group of brothers, Huang Lei was a little perturbed. When they want to kick us away, they definitely won't hesitate. Fu Fan won't make a move himself, but I believe he must have something to rely on. Bai Lin Luo was still speculating. I know what it is. Li Fan believed that someone like Fu Fan would definitely know about the embroidered uniform guard. As expected, he was a schemer. He was using him while waiting for him to grow stronger. Then, he would have the embroidered uniform guards take care of him. What a good scheme. How was it? Dangerous? Bai Lin Luo asked worriedly. Don't worry, I can handle it. Li Fan nodded. We just need to think about our own things. Leave the rest to me. Four Eyes, think about our mission plan this time. How to pull the teeth from the tiger's mouth. I looked at the information left by Fu Fan. Bai Lin Luo clapped his hands. Close the door. Okay. Huang Lei knew that the only underling here was himself. He was not ambiguous. He ran to pull the iron door. The lights in the billiard room were turned on, and Bai Lin Luo pasted the information on the blackboard. He pushed his glasses. His brain began to run at high speed. He kept thinking. 2 days later, the location of the transaction is by the river. The Vietnamese will definitely come from the river. And the police on the river will defend in these positions, so they can only come out from here. It should be such a route. As long as we can stop them before they trade with Hu Ergu, there should be no problem. Bai Lin Luo took off his glasses, wiped them with a cloth, and said, there is a way. We will intercept them here. With that, he stretched out his hand and drew a red circle on the map of Songjiang. The Vietnamese have drugs in their hands. Li Fan's eyes flashed. If we're going to do it, let's do it big. Big brother, you don't want to eat the money in Hu Ergu's hands, do? Huang Lei has realized Li Fan's idea. You know my joy. Fuck, big brother, you are too presumptuous. Are you afraid? What's there to be afraid of? How many fights can there be in life? Huang Lei was eating an apple. When he heard this, he slammed the apple in his hand on the ground. Motherfucker, I'm going all out. Big brother, I am originally a little punk. I don't have anything else, but I have a life. This more than 100 pounds will be handed over to you. You can do whatever you want with it. Fuck off, why would I want to torture your body? If you really have that hobby, I will find 2 strong men to torture you. I haven't tried this yet. Huang Lei thought about it seriously. If there is a chance, I can try it. Fuck off, where is your integrity? Where is your bottom line? Li Fan was convinced by Huang Lei. The only one who can fight here is Li Fan. Bai Lin Luo wiped his glasses and began to ponder. If I want to eat both sides, I need another powerful fighter. Fighter? Li Fan suddenly laughed. Speaking of fighter, I have a good candidate. It's about time I will go find him. I also need a boat. Bai Lin Luo continued to ask. Leave it to me. Huang Lei slapped his thigh. Getting a boat is not a problem. Go get it today. Bai Lin Luo said, hide it after you get it and use it the day after tomorrow. Okay, I understand. Guang Lei nodded. Bai Lin Luo urged, you guys go do your own things. I still need to calculate the details of the task. Let's call it a night. See you tomorrow at the billiard hall. Okay. See you tomorrow. The three of them parted at the billiard hall. Li Fan went to the riverside alone. At this time, Guan Wenbao was standing on the cruise ship, waving the crescent blade in his hand and practicing his blade technique under the moonlight. Different from usual, Guan Wenbao did not wear armor. In such a cold autumn night, accompanied by the bone-chilling wind, Guan Wenbao only wore a thin pair of shorts and a singlet, relying on his solid muscles and true energy to resist the cold. The crescent blade in his hand created a strong wind, as if it would turn into a real dragon and roam the sky at any time. Sweat dripped from his forehead and patted his toned muscles. Sir, you have been watching for so long, come out and meet me. Guan Wenbao suddenly pressed down on the blade. His voice was loud and clear like thunder in the dark night. Chapter 85. What a great skill! Li Fan appears from the darkness and lightly lands on the railing opposite of Guan Wenbao. With one foot stepping on it, he is as light as the wind. Why is it you again? When Guan Wenbao sees Li Fan, he frowns slightly. Fate brings us together from 1,000 miles away. Li Fan smiles mischievously as he looks at Guan Wenbao with a greedy gaze. This kind of gaze actually makes Guan Wenbao a little shy. He holds his crescent blade with both hands and lowers his head, seemingly blushing. I don't have that kind of hobby. Fuck your sister. What is this guy thinking about? Li Fan says, this guy is totally thinking the wrong way. Big brother, I don't mean that. Li Fan hurriedly explains, between me and you, it's that kind of appreciation between men. I understand. Guan Wenbao's face seems to turn even redder as he says in a low voice, in the club. I've seen a lot of appreciation between men. I'm not discriminating, but I don't do it, really. Fuck, I don't do it either. I have a fiancé, okay? At this time, Li Fan can only use Murong-ing as a shield. I don't have that kind of hobby. I'm just saying. I really don't have that kind of thought about you. Although he says so, Li Fan can clearly see that Guan Wenbao is relieved. Fuck, this guy's thoughts are really intoxicating. May I know what is your intention for coming here so late at night? Guan Wenbao's speech has always been somewhat genteel, but Li Fan doesn't feel too uncomfortable listening to it. I missed you, so I came to see you. Li Fan is also too embarrassed to directly state his intention, but Guan Wenbao's body trembles. Didn't you say? You don't have any hobbies? Fuck, why do you keep thinking in that direction? Li Fan almost broke down. Everyone will be led astray by you, okay? This is the first time I've seen a martial arts master like you, so I'm very curious and came to see you. Have you just entered the martial arts world? Guan Wenbao was also a little curious about Li Fan. He looked at Li Fan a few more times and finally couldn't help but ask. Li Fan sat on the railing and looked at Guan Wenbao. You've only been practicing martial arts for a little more than a month. Your words are really hard to believe. Guan Wenbao felt that Li Fan's words had subverted his common sense. I've been practicing martial arts since I was a child. I've been practicing for 15 years to reach my current cultivation level. Your Excellency has only practiced for a little more than a month. I really find it hard to believe your words. I knew you wouldn't believe me. Li Fan rolled his eyes. Let's put it this way. I have a pure yang body. Hearing this, Guan Wenbao's expression was obviously a little surprised. He immediately looked left and right and pricked up his ears to listen. Only when he found that there was no one around did he feel relieved. Thank you for your trust in me. Guan Wenbao put down his crescent blade and cupped his hands at Li Fan. But your words, please don't mention it to others in the future. Otherwise, you'll definitely bring about a fatal disaster. Don't worry. I'm not that stupid. Li Fan waved his hand. I only told you because I see you as a brother. Otherwise, How could I casually mention this kind of matter that concerns my life? I really didn't expect that in my lifetime, I would actually be able to see a pure yang body successor. Guan Wenbao was very emotional. After all, a pure yang body to the people of the martial arts world was really rare. To be honest, I came to you today because I have something to ask of you. Your Excellency, please say it. Guan Wenbao was very straightforward. I owe you a favor. If you have any request, I will definitely try my best to satisfy you. Of course, that is excluding. Fuck, I also don't have that kind of request. Li Fan was about to piss his pants because of Guan Wenbao. This guy, is he gay or not? If not, why does he keep talking about this? Li Fan reckoned that this Guan Wenbao had been influenced by the club for too long. His entire person had started to become perverted. I have the responsibility and obligation to save him from this weirdness. That's good. Guan Wenbao heaved a sigh of relief. Li Fan really wanted to kick him. I need you to do something for me. I'll come and find you around the night after tomorrow. Don't come here to find me. Guan Wenbao said, after all, this is Su Chen's territory. It won't be good if you're discovered. He thought for a moment and then said, where are you? Tell me a place and I'll come and find you. All right. Li Fan nodded. Then let's meet at the number 8 billiards hall at the entrance of private number 2 high school at 9 o'clock. No problem. Guan Wenbao readily agreed. I will definitely keep my promise. Then it's a deal. Li Fan nodded. A gentleman keeps his word. We'll see each other then. Before you leave, can you also promise me a request? What request? Can you tell me what kind of kung fu you used? 5 animals combined attack technique. Li Fan said with some pride. It is indeed my self-created kung fu. I admire you. Guan Wenbao once again cupped his hands. I, Guan Wenbao, have never admired anyone in my life. Your Excellency is an exception. If there is a chance, I hope I can fight with you again. There will be a chance? Li Fan nodded. He also wanted to fight with an expert like Guan Wenbao. Then, Your Excellency. Guan Wenbao was about to say a few more words when he suddenly frowned. Someone is coming. As soon as his voice fell, Li Fan's body had already fallen down, hiding under the ship. When Guan Wenbao turned around, Su Chen's underling Yu Feng came over and scolded him. Guan Wenbao, what the hell are you doing here? You have a match today. Did you forget? Match. Guan Wenbao's voice was a bit surprised. The last time we fought, I suffered some internal injuries and am still recovering. This week, I won't be participating. I should have asked for leave from Boss Su. Ask for leave? What a big tone. Yu Feng sneered. Guan Wenbao, what a big tone you have. I think you've forgotten who you are. Don't forget, you are our Boss Su's thug. Boss Su is a businessman. He is too lazy to argue with you. But my temper is not good. You owe our boss so much money, and you still want to be lazy and not work? Dream on. I was thoughtless. Guan Wenbao was silent for a moment. Please forgive me and Boss Su. Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and get to work. Guan Wenbao and Yu Feng's footsteps were getting farther and farther away. Li Fan could not help but mutter. How much money did Guan Wenbao owe Su Chen to make him work for him? And why would a man like Guan Wenbao owe money to a big brother of the underworld? I really can't figure it out. I'll ask Guan Wenbao some other day. Li Fan did not stay for long. He used Qinggong to escape from the river. Chapter 86. As usual, Li Fan woke up early, but this time, he didn't go to Lin Yuesen's house. The week of couple time between the two of them had ended. Regardless of whether Li Fan's so-called illness was cured by Lin Yuan or not, the promise had ended and Li Fan wouldn't go looking for that girl again. However, the results of this week's tutoring were not bad. Li Fan's grades had significantly improved. Today was a full day of exams. This time, the difficulty of the mock exam was a bit higher. However, what surprised Li Fan was that he remembered a lot of the questions. He had seen them in the papers that Lin Yuechen gave him before. Sure enough, they were some type of questions. These few exams, Chang Chuanxi personally acted as the invigilator. His eyes were about to fall onto Li Fan's body. It was as if he didn't stare at Li Fan, the next second, Li Fan would pull out a Gatling gun and kill everyone in the class. Li Fan let him stare. Anyway, he wasn't going to cheat. He could stare all he wanted. After the exams for a whole day, Li Fan and Bai Lin Luo went to the billiard hall together. I think Teacher Chang's eyes are growing on you. On the way, Bai Lin Luo joked with Li Fan, maybe he's interested in you. Go away. A cute girl like you is what he loves the most. Li Fan viciously imagined a scene. Yo, isn't this Li Fan? Just when the two of them were about to leave the school gate, they bumped into a classmate. This person looked at Li Fan with a face full of ridicule. Being in the same class with a delinquent every day really made me lose face. Now, you're finally going to get the hell out of the class. Deng Siwei, be more polite when you speak. Without waiting for Li Fan to speak, Bai Lin Luo first spoke up for him. Hee, Bai Lin Luo, I haven't seen you for a few days and you've become Li Fan's lackey. Deng Siwei continued to mock him. Looks like it won't be long before you become like Li Fan. Li Fan was a little puzzled. He rarely had anything to do with Deng Siwei. He had never even spoken to her. Why was she mocking him for no reason? This Deng Siwei was the top student in the class and could be said to be the treasure of the teacher. Why did she have to make things difficult for him? Deng Siwei, aren't you a little too low-level? Bai Lin Luo understood the situation better. You can't catch up with Lin Yuichisan, so you're looking for trouble with Li Fan? Nonsense. I can't catch up with Lin Yun? Deng Siwei dryly laughed. I'm such an outstanding person. If I want to catch up with Lin Yun, it's just a matter of time. You guys are thinking too much. A man like you is indeed low-level. Li Fan couldn't help but ridicule. I'm not on the same wavelength as you guys. Deng Siwei coldly snorted. Anyway, once the results are out, you should get lost. That's hard to say. I haven't had enough of being your classmate. Li Fan passionately said, our fate is not over yet. We still have to take care of each other. Humph. Deng Siwei obviously couldn't win against Li Fan. She angrily snorted and left with her bag. When the tide rises, there are so many bastards. Big Brother is everywhere. Li Fan looked at his back and couldn't help but ridicule. I don't know which pit was not blocked and this guy came out. Who asked you to be in the limelight so much recently? Bai Lin Luo smiled. Moreover, it is said that Lin Yin and Rong Ying, these two beauties, are in love with you. Naturally, there will be people who are jealous of you. What nonsense. I and Lin Yueten are just friends. Li Fan couldn't help but laugh. It's not what they think. I don't believe it. Don't say if they believe it or not. Bai Lin Luo pushed his glasses. The relationship between you and Lin Yin is definitely not ordinary. I can see that. Forget it. Li Fan couldn't help but laugh. You are a single dog. What do you know about women? I know Lin Yuichisan. That kind of woman will never be interested in me. Just as his voice fell, he didn't expect that Lin Yuichen would be waiting for him at the school gate. The little girl was pretty with a ponytail. Wearing a school uniform, she seemed to be a little flustered. Bai Lin Luo whistled and Li Fan pushed him to the side. Well, Li Fan, I think we need to talk. Lin Yuichen didn't seem to have the intention to let Li Fan pass. She stood there and said to Li Fan with some hesitation. What's there to talk about between us? Li Fan was a little puzzled. Isn't it over? Bai Lin Luo whistled again. Li Fan hurriedly explained, don't make wild guesses. It's not what you think. I mean, our relationship as lovers is over. No, it's not that. Anyway, Li Fan, I don't think our contract is over yet. Lin Yuxian suddenly said. What do you mean? It's literally what it means. Lin Yuxian emphasized again. Because I haven't finished what I want to help you with? I really don't have any problems now. Li Fan patted his chest. I've become more popular recently. Some of the girls in the class also took the initiative to talk to me. It's not that. I'm still confident in treating illnesses. Lin Yuxian rolled her eyes. I'm talking about something else. What else? Oh yes, my grades have also improved a lot. Thank you. It's not that. Lin Yuxian seemed to be a little anxious. She looked around and then lowered her voice. We've agreed to let you pursue Muronging. Oh, this matter. Li Fan muttered in his heart, the matter between him and Murong-ing must not be told to others. If it was known by others, it would cause an uproar in the city. Besides, Li Fan also did not want others to know about this matter. After all, he did not want others to think that he was someone who depended on Murong-ing to survive. He had to rely on himself to fight against the school. How about it, before you pursue Murong-ing, our agreement is not over. Lin Yun saw Li Fan's hesitation and thought that he was moved. Don't worry, after all, I understand girls better. I will definitely help you get her. Alright, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. From now on, we continue with our previous agreement. Tomorrow morning, you have to pick me up. With that, Lin Yun did not give Li Fan a chance to refute and rode away. Hey, this girl, why is she talking to herself again? Li Fan was amused. I haven't agreed yet, okay? Isn't it great to have a beautiful campus belle throwing herself at you? Bai Lin Luo said with some envy, why can't I encounter such a good thing? You should stop it already. I'm already annoyed enough. Li Fan sighed. One Murong-ing was enough for him to deal with. Now, he had to deal with Lin Yuexin. Where would he find the energy to do so? The two of them were about to enter the billiard hall when a loud shout came from inside. Quickly put down your knife. Otherwise, I will fight you. Li Fan and Bai Lin Luo looked at each other. Something had happened. Chapter 87. Li Fan was worried that Huang Lei would be in danger, so he kicked open the door of the billiard hall and rushed in. When he entered, he was stunned. A tall figure stood in front of him, holding a crescent blade in his hand and wearing a silver coat. He was confronting Huang Lei. Huang Lei, on the other hand, was too weak. He was holding a small switchblade in his hand, and he was thin and weak. What are you two doing? Li Fan couldn't help but ask. Brother, you're finally back. This man is going to tear down the shop. I'm using my divine skill to protect our business. Huang Lei shouted immediately. Li Fan almost vomited blood. Divine skill? Divine skill my ass. Your Excellency is back. Guan Wenbao turned around and nodded at Li Fan. Brother, you know each other? Huang Lei was stunned. Li Fan asked, Wenbao, what happened? Your Excellency, he offended my ancestors. Guan Wenbao was a little agitated. He pointed at Huang Lei with righteous indignation. I must teach him a lesson. How did he offend your ancestors? Li Fan turned his head and finally understood. It turned out that Huang Lei had changed the statue of Guan Yu in the shop. It turned out that the majestic green dragon crescent blade in his hand had disappeared, and Huang Lei had stuffed in a golf club of just the right thickness. Guan Yu's other hand was originally holding a tower, but now there was a black 8 billiard ball on it. There was a sign on Guan Yu's chest that said, 10 yuan per hour, 5 yuan per shot. He was drunk. You're so good at pranks. Brother, you can't blame me. I'm doing this to promote our billiard hall. Huang Lei felt wronged. Don't you think this is more in line with the layout of our billiard hall? This small billiard hall. How could it possibly have such a grand layout? It's fine if you let him play pool with a cue, but what's with 10 yuan an hour and 5 yuan a shot? Guan Wenbao was trembling with anger as he questioned, Are you stupid? You can play for an hour at our billiard hall for $10. If you only play one round, it will be $5. Huang Lei rolled his eyes. You don't even know this? Are you normal? I'll kill you. Guan Wenbao raised his crescent blade again, his entire body brimming with killing intent. Fuck, I'll ask Guan Yu to publicize it for me. It has nothing to do with you. Why are you so excited? Huang Lei was being chased by Guan Wenbao, and the billiard hall was in a mess. Li Fan hurriedly tried to mediate. All right, stop arguing you two. Li Fan scolded Huang Lei, you too, making such a nondescript scene. Hurry up and take off that plate. He pulled Guan Wenbao again. Wenbao, don't be angry. Huang Lei doesn't know that you are a descendant of Guan Yu. He didn't mean it. Don't take it to heart. I'm so angry. Guan Wenbao was so angry that he panted heavily. What he hated the most was people humiliating his ancestors. As a descendant of the Guan family, he had always been proud of the Guan family. How dare you humiliate my ancestors like this? It's really infuriating. Bro, you're so funny. How would I know that this is your ancestor? Huang Lei hid behind Li Fan and said to Guan Wenbao, besides, your ancestor has been dead for thousands of years. I took it out and used it again, so that your ancestor can play a role again. You should thank me. I thank your 8 generations of ancestors. Guan Wenbao flew into a rage. He picked up his crescent blade and was about to chop again. All right. Wenbao, just let him go. Li Fan persuaded while turning his head to glare at Huang Lei. What nonsense are you talking about? Hurry up and apologize to Wenbao. All right. Since Big Brother has spoken, I will reluctantly apologize to you. Huang Lei bowed his head to Guan Wenbao. I, Huang Banxian, am such a big figure. I have never been humble before. Look at you, how much face you have. Guan Wenbao's body trembled. Li Fan quickly held him down. Huang Lei, your mouth is asking for a slap. Hurry up and apologize. Guan Wenbao is an expert that I invited. All right. This brother Guan, I'm sorry. Huang Lei finally apologized in a dignified manner. Guan Wenbao put away his crescent blade. Li Fan also breathed a sigh of relief. Old Guan, I'm very curious. How did you carry a crescent blade on the road? Didn't the police invite you for tea? After everyone quieted down, Li Fan couldn't help but ask curiously. Guan Wenbao said. His right hand twisted the crescent blade a few times. Then with a shake of his hand, the huge blade shrunk back to less than a meter long. Guan Wenbao twisted the hilt, leaving only the blade. He took out a metal box from the billiard table next to him. After opening it, there were exactly 2 empty spaces. One for the blade, and the other for the blade. There's also a black motorcycle parked outside. Spring Wind 650. Guan Wenbao said, that's my mount. Usually, the box is hung on it. Fuck, I thought your mount was just that horse. Ah, sir, are you talking about Lisa? Guan Wenbao laughed. She doesn't like to go out. She's quite a homebody. By the way, why did you call your horse an English name? Li Fan wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. Guan Wenbao was so traditional. Don't you think this name is very Western? Guan Wenbao said seriously, we are Chinese. If we want to ride, we should ride a foreign horse to win glory for our country. Good. You're really promising. Li Fan couldn't help but give him a thumbs up. This is our Chinese man. You flatter me. Guan Wenbao blushed slightly. It seemed that he didn't take the compliment very well. Don't call me sir. I have a name. Just call me Li Fan. That won't do. I'm indebted to you. How can I call you by your name? Guan Wenbao shook his head, refusing to give up. Please respect me, sir. This is my only request. Okay, I respect you. Li Fan had no choice but to nod and agree. Then you can call me Mr. Half-Immortal from now on. Huang Lei laughed and said, I won't ask you to change it. Get lost. You lowly people don't deserve to be called Mr. Guan Wenbao didn't give any face to Huang Lei. I'm already doing you a favor by not killing you. Brother, look, he bullied me. Huang Lei looked at Li Fan miserably. You have to stand up for me, brother. Don't give me that. You offended him first. Li Fan rolled his eyes. Don't talk nonsense. Since old Guan arrived early, let's prepare in advance. Huang Lei closed the door. But Huang Lei stopped complaining and went to close the door. The door was closed and the lights in the room were turned on. Bai Lin Luo pulled down the task board, pointed at the process, and said, Everyone, tonight, we're going crazy. Chapter 88. Songjiang at night was pitch black, basically nothing could be seen. Only the city hall and Songjiang bridge were brightly lit, proving the prosperity of the city. But most of the areas were dark, as if hiding a part of the city's evil. The black boxing club on Songjiang used such darkness to hide their figures. The entire Songjiang was really too big. The Vietnamese Agong also relied on this darkness to boldly drive his fishing boat, loaded his own goods, and headed towards the agreed location. On Agong's boat were 4 burly men, each of them were vicious bandits from Vietnam. Each of them was equipped with a submachine gun, which was smuggled by Ah Gong from Vietnam. This was his first time doing business in the Northeast. The market prospects here were good. As long as he could open up this route and return to Vietnam, his boss would definitely put him in an important position. The sky was drizzling. The river surface was gently shaking. Ah Gong was approaching the shore. At this moment, a small sampan approached in front of him. On it was a man wearing a black raincoat, holding a flashlight in his hand, waving it 3 times in his direction. "Who is it?" Ah Gong's hand touched the submachine gun behind his waist. He was very vigilant. If there was any movement, he would definitely not be polite. Ah Gong spoke in fluent Chinese. His voice was very weak in this rainy night. "I was sent by Mr. Hu to pick you up." The figure on the sampan seemed to be a bit thin. He rushed over and shouted, "Friends, please come with me." "You are Mr. Hu's man?" Ah Gong waved the flashlight in his other hand at the opposite face, but his face was covered by a mask. He couldn't see what he looked like. "Where is your Mr. Hu?" "He is waiting for you on the shore." The person on the sampan was none other than Bai Lin Luo. To be honest, he was very nervous. Although Bai Lin Luo's acting was outstanding, but facing these vicious bandits, it was impossible for him not to be afraid. But when his eyes fell on the ripples in the water, he slightly calmed down. "It's raining. Our boss was afraid that you would lose your direction in the river, so he sent me to pick you up." Bai Lin Luo's heart was beating very fast, but he tried to make himself appear very calm. "Really?" Ah Gong became even more suspicious. He waved his hand, and the 4 bandits behind him pulled out their submachine guns. But no one knew that at this moment, a figure quietly emerged from the water, then grabbed the boarding rail with one hand, and with a jolt of his body, he fell onto the ship. There was still no sound, which proved that this person's qigong was very powerful. He quickly arrived behind the 4 strong men. Then, using his palm as a knife, he knocked them out one by one. This person was none other than the general invited by Li Fan, Guan Wenbao. Ah Gong sensed that something was wrong. He quickly turned around and aimed his gun at Guan Wenbao. Wang Lei seemed to be Li Fan's spokesperson. He rubbed his hands and said with a smile, "But we have to see the money first. Otherwise, the boat will not dock." Cunning Vietnamese. Hu Ergu sneered, "Let him have a look." Hauzi brought over a safe. After opening it, it was filled with money. "Here is 1 million. Hu Ergu said, "According to the agreement, 1 million in cash and 4 million in bank transfer. Once you get the goods, the remaining 4 million will immediately be transferred to your account." This Hu Ergu was very cunning. But 1 million in cash is not a small amount. Huang Lei's eyes flashed a trace of greed. "Mr. Liang." At this moment, Hu Ergu suddenly extended his hand towards Li Fan, as if he was greeting him. "Next month is your father's 60th birthday. I wonder what kind of gift your father would like? Can you tell me?" Chapter 89. Hu Ergu was testing him. Li Fan understood. The person behind Hu Ergu who understood Vietnamese had translated the sentence for him. Although she couldn't understand his Vietnamese, she could understand his authentic northeastern accent. But how should he answer? First of all, Li Fan did not know if his father was celebrating his birthday or not. These words could be a trap that Hu Ergu had set up for him. For these people to be able to become big brothers, their brains were definitely not simple. If he was not careful, he could fall into their trap. And even if he knew the answer, he could not answer. Because other than the few Vietnamese curses, Li Fan did not know anything else. "Mr. Liang?" Hu Ergu looked at Li Fan from top to bottom. In order to hide his identity, Li Fan had brought a pair of polarized lenses. Although it was late, it was strange to bring a pair of polarized lenses. But considering that these Vietnamese drug dealers were not normal people, the other party did not suspect anything. He could not say that he did not suspect anything. This guy had already set up a trap. The few men behind Hu Ergu reached for their waists. Although he did not know if they were touching a gun or a knife, Li Fan could feel a trace of danger. This was the first time he was participating in such a mission, so Li Fan was nervous. There was a cold breeze at the back of his head. If he did not answer, Hu Ergu would definitely make a move. Time was running out. He could not wait for anyone. Just as Li Fan did not know what to do next, the sound of a police siren rang out from the main road. Li Fan's face immediately turned flustered, and he began to curse loudly in Vietnamese. "Fuck your mother! You betrayed us!" Huang Lei's face changed. He pulled out a Type 54 Black Star. But only he and Li Fan knew that this gun was a replica. It was a broken thing that would jam when firing a BB gun. But the other party did not know, especially in the dark, they could not see clearly. "Fuck, we don't know either." Hu Ergu had already taken out a 5-shot pistol from the van behind him and was holding it in his hand. Li Fan's eyes tightened. This guy really came prepared. A few of his men also began to take out their guns from the van, but their guns looked like toys. They were crudely made, and even the triggers were bent with a wire. He remembered what Huang Lei had told him before. Nowadays, some of the big brothers had guns that could fire 5 shots in a row. The ordinary ones were handmade guns made by small workshops. They could only fire 1 bullet and then the gun would be useless. Who betrayed us? Hu Erga didn't notice that Huang Lei and Li Fan had disappeared in a hurry. At this moment, Guan Wenbao stood on the side of the boat, threw a string of firecrackers, and then jumped into the water. Crackle! The sound of firecrackers immediately rang out on the fishing boat. At the same time, a string of light spots flashed in the darkness. "It's the Vietnamese who betrayed us." Hu Ergu and his men immediately aimed their guns at the fishing boat. "Kill them." Mainland. "It's the mainland who want to do evil." Ah Gong was also woken up by the sound of firecrackers. Seeing the people on the shore pointing their guns at them, he immediately shouted, "Kill them." A few burly men also woke up. As expected of bandits, they immediately pulled out their submachine guns and started shooting at the people on the shore. Hu Ergu and his men hid behind a few vans and opened fire at the Vietnamese. "Where's the money? Where's my money?" Hu Ergu turned his head and discovered that the safe in the van had disappeared. He immediately roared. But his men shook their heads and a few of them were shot to the ground. The Vietnamese's firepower was clearly stronger. "Fuck, I'll fight it out with you." Hu Ergu raised his 5-shot pistol and fired 5 shots at the boat on the river. Ah Gong's shoulder was shot and his entire arm was shattered. He fell on his butt. "Retreat first." He did not hesitate and gritted his teeth as he made this decision. The fishing boat immediately turned around, and under the gunfire of Hu Ergu and his men, it slowly disappeared into the night. The police were alerted and surrounded the abandoned pier, and surrounded Hu Ergu and his men. At the same time, on the road towards Jiangnan, a Wuling light van was driving. Li Fan and his men sat in the car, while Huang Lei drove the van. "Beautifully done." Li Fan and Guan Wenbao high-fived each other, their hearts filled with excitement. This time it was extremely dangerous, and they were nearly exposed. If not for Bai Lin Luo's preparations, and the police siren in the van, even if he could escape, Huang Lei would have been injured. "This is too easy." Huang Lei laughed as he drove. "As expected, I, Huang Banxian, am blessed by the gods." "Forget it." Li Fan rolled his eyes. "It's all because of Little Four Eyes' good planning. If you are blessed by the gods, the next time there is such a task, you will directly go up naked." "That would be too arrogant, and even the gods would not tolerate me." Huang Lei laughed dryly. "Let's talk about the 1 million and the 500,000 from the drugs, which is enough for us to spend for a lifetime." "Good for you." Li Fan took out 400,000 and gave it to Guan Wenbao. "This 400,000 is yours?" How can this be?" Guan Wenbao suddenly panicked. "How can I take your money?" "You contributed, of course you should take the money." "No. I said it was to return the favor." Guan Wenbao stubbornly said, "I will never take your money." "Then don't give it to him." "Brother, it's just the 3 of us, 500,000 each." Li Fan stared at him, and Huang Lei quickly changed his words. Yes, it's my fault." Brother and the military advisor each get 700,000 each. Just give me 100,000 for me to have fun. This round of fun is quite expensive. Brother, you see, with the few of us together, We can do anything big. Huang Lei was still excited. Why don't we rob the industrial and commercial bank in front of my house? Rob your dick. Li Fan almost laughed. Why don't you go to heaven? Our task this time is actually very dangerous. Bai Lin Luo starts to wipe his glasses. The main reason is that both sides did not guard against us. They did not expect that someone would know about their transaction and dare to rob them. But next time, it will not be so easy. Information is the most important thing. Li Fan said, our team is still very young. If it were not for Fu Fan's detailed information, we would not have been able to carry out our plan. Everyone should keep a low profile for the time being. Bai Lin Luo said, don't spend the money first. Wait for the limelight to die down. I have money, but I am not allowed to spend it. That will suffocate me. Huang Lei's lower body is itching. It is my honor to help you. Guan Wenbao cupped his hands at Li Fan. Let me get off here. Guan, don't be silly. Your motorcycle is still in the billiard hall. Oh? Guan Wenbao thought to himself that he is being silly. Suddenly, there is a loud noise coming from the top of the van. Then, a goose feather saber broke through the roof of the van and pierced in. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.